In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. George Orwell. Yeah. This is Blood Politics. The only podcast where we don't talk about politics. We be about politics. And our mission statement is to empower, educate, and encourage everyone to speak out against fascism. Speak out against injustice and fight for freedom and equality for everyone. This is blood politics, and we ain't stopping till they put us in the grave. We ain't gonna be quiet, and we ain't gonna be scared, and we ain't gonna go along with the crowd. This is blood politics.
All right, guys, what do you say? You want to get off and running? Can we just get off and running? What do you say? We just hop right into it.
Because ain't nobody else gonna do it. This is.
All right, let's just hop right into it. How are we doing? How's everybody going? Huh? How's everybody doing? Everybody doing all right? I'm Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I appreciate you for joining me once again. Boy, is this like a ridiculous situation that we continue to find ourselves. I know you sound like a broken record every time you say it, but it never ceases to amaze me. Never ceases to amaze me. So filter in one and all, because we got a lot to discuss, a lot of clips to get through tonight. But first and foremost, how's everybody doing? Everybody surviving the day? April 22nd, 2026. Everybody surviving? Huh? How we doing there, Chad? How we doing? Let's go. Everybody's with me? What's up, Rocks? What's going on, Twiggy? What's going on, El Rondo? What's up, Spider? Zircon, Deb, how's everybody doing? What's up, Samuel? What's up, Dame Dog? What's going on, Mozart? Good to see you. Always good to see you. How's Flipper doing? What's going on, The Storm? Let's go. Let's go. I love when I see people filtering. Let's fucking go. Appreciate you guys. Hi, Nance. How are you? Always good to see you. What's up, Nola? I see you in there. How's everybody doing on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitch, Substack? And I think that's everybody, right? I think that's everybody. It's getting out of hand. At this point, but we do have a lot to go over. But like I said, why don't we say hi to the chat? Like I said, you guys deserve some screen time, so I shall give it to you. How's that? What's going on, Zircon? What's up, Ian? How's everybody doing? What's going on? There you are. A little screen time. You all deserve it. You do enough. What's up, maybe tomorrow? How's everybody doing? What's up, Her Story? Love to see you guys in there. Make sure you hit that like button as always. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If for some reason you're not already, we got some Lego videos to dive into, some videos that we didn't get to this morning on the early show. We got videos from James O'Brien. I think some from Benny Johnson, Tim Pool. We got some from Jen and Pumps over at the I've Had It podcast. Who else we got? We got some TYT to call out. We got a ton of shit to look into, and dive into. We got a couple clips coming up from, some updates from not only the front lines in Ukraine, but also some more information on how detrimental the strikes on the Russian oil ports and facilities have been, and how Ukraine continues to hammer away at some of these facilities, some of which I showed you the other day. If we have to hop into the map, I got that pulled up as well. How's everybody doing, though? What's up, Gamer? What's up, Kathy? What's going on? Oh, I love what I say. I know. What's up, Fishbone? How are you guys? What's up, Roxanne? Appreciate you, all the mods. What's up, Slightly Mad Mom? What's up, Jackie? What's up, Luck Dragon? Fifi? What's up, Steve? What's up, Lacey? Yeah, let the whole crew's here. So I do appreciate you guys, as always. Thank you so much for everything that you do. But boy, do we have a lot to get into. 2 hours. A lot to get into. A lot to pack into a tight area, a tight window. But we're going to start off here. The question that nobody seems to want to answer at this point. And if somebody asked you, hey, how's your government doing right now? Right? Nobody at this point would want to answer that question. And probably this isn't going to help, right? Because I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about this story. For some reason, I may have a little bit too many windows pulled up. I might have to let me close this one out. And I think I can close this one out at the same time. Hopefully that settles everything down, because I got so much trying to pack into this show here that, I don't know, the computer's sweating a little bit. But come on. I mean, is this not really kind of like a good indication of how our government's being run right now? The degenerate, drunk fucking fools that somehow have weaseled their way into these like really powerful, really, really important positions that have like the most sensitive and critical information that passes through their fucking hands and desks and eyes. Like, how does this happen? How does this fucking happen? This is Andrew Hugg. And again, this is above and beyond the story that we'll be covering in just a second about another top Navy officer that is no longer at the Pentagon. We'll be diving into that. Because that's, again, another through line with this administration. I forget what the number was, something like the 32nd or 34th different removal as far as Pete Hegseth is concerned since he's got there. Well, like I said, I don't want to get ahead of my skis here, but this is Andrew Hugg, the U.S. Army's branch chief for the chemical nuclear surety, was reportedly escorted from the Pentagon for leaking sensitive national security information. And if you haven't seen this clip here, this is like, I don't know, the best example of a honeypot you could probably see, like such a good example of a honeypot that the guy actually recognizes it as a honeypot and still can't get away from it, right? Is still just too taken aback, too fucking, fixed on the girl's eyes. But she gets the information, and forgive me, I don't know the journalist here, the undercover journalist. Probably some information that I should have had ready, but my apologies on that one. I had so many other things that I was trying to pull up. But these, this is just I think it's like a 2-minute kind of compilation, a little mumbo jumbo of some of the stuff that he said on this recording, right? Some of the information that he was just readily putting out there while he was being videotaped. He didn't know, obviously, that he was being videotaped. But I mean, the shit that he was saying is just, it's fucking remarkable. Again, talk about Pete Hegseth being an absolute drunk. I mean, we can talk about the reports from him at Fox News. We can talk about the pictures and the videos and the reports of him when he was trying to head the veterans associations, and he couldn't even fucking do that well. All of the reports of his, heavy drinking from that situation, to Kash Patel and the new reports of him being basically so fucking incoherent that his people were ready to kick the door down on a few occasions, right? May have been so goddamn drunk that he forgot his password or couldn't log on to the system and then immediately thought that he was fucking fired. I mean, this whole thing, and then we got this, right? And I know these aren't like one-to-one connections. I know this guy isn't like, in the pocket of Donald Trump. As far as I know, I think he's got some distance from his position in the White House. But still, I mean, this is just a really consistent through line for the people that we seem to have working inside of Trump's government right now. They're all drunks. They're all fucking power hungry. They're all womanizers, right? They all don't give a shit about, sensitive information or clearances or rules or procedures or regulations or who they're going to hurt if this information gets out, or what the fucking, what geopolitical instance or situation they could cause by releasing some of this information. I mean, it's crazy. And unfortunately, I hate how Instagram doesn't allow you to like rewind to go back on the video. So unfortunately, we may be picking this up in the middle, but again, you'll see where it clips in, and obviously the stuff that he says doesn't change. So listen to some of what she got this asshole to say out loud on camera. Obviously, he didn't know he was on camera. Check this out.
That's so sweet.
You're not spying. You're not spying.
You're just powerful.
But you're not spying, right?
You're just powerful. And I like that. Let's go back to the table. Okay.
So this is the beginning right here. That was pretty much the end of this little snippet that they have here, this little compilation of some of the scenes, some of what they said. So basically the first question that the journalist comes out with is, do you think we're actually going to use nukes? And again, anybody that has the clearance, anybody that has the position of power, that has an answer to that question, probably in this instance would use their judgments and say, probably not something that I'm going to tell this woman at a fucking open air restaurant right now with people sitting about 4.5 feet away, right? While I'm, heavily intoxicated, most likely. Like, just, I mean, even above and beyond that, you can't do it anyway. But I'm just trying to set the scene here as how ridiculous it is for him to even contemplate, never mind go through with putting this information out into the fucking world. Like, listen to what he says here. And again, this is just like a 2-minute clip of some of the things that he said.
We're not leaving nukes. We're not going to leave it.
He says, we're not moving nukes. We're not going to nuke anybody. Again, this is like, I keep thinking it back to, I know, again, I go back to World War II and a lot of things, but the American officer just before D-Day that was at the French restaurant and he was shit-faced, right? It was actually one of Eisenhower's old roommates. at West Point, if I remember correctly. But he was in there kind of spouting off dates and times and ships and shit like that, and when people are going to leave. And he got his ass sent the fuck home, right? I mean, you just you don't go out there and start, even if you were telling people that you're not, or telling people that you are, moving around nukes and shipping around. Like, that's just, again, it's obviously, you guys know how ridiculous this whole situation is. But it never ceases to amaze me, the fucking incompetence and the ignorance of some of the morons that are in such high positions of power inside this fucking government.
Yeah.
We're not thinking about nuking anybody.
Do you think we're going to kill one of them?
So she says, I know it's probably hot to hear, but she says, do you think we're going to kill more Iranian leaders? And he said, Trump could, yeah. I don't know who, but he might kill the next guy, talking about Mojtaba Khamenei, obviously the Ayatollah's son. And he goes on.
Yeah, I don't know who, but he might kill the next guy, the son.
His son?
Yeah, because the son took over. He won't be any different.
So he says there, his son took over and he won't be any different. Again, not helping, Trump's agenda, not helping Trump's rhetoric and point that he's trying to come out and make of like this regime change and everything's going to be different and they're more agreeable and they're more willing to talk to us and everything's going to be okay. Like, that directly flies in the face of what Donald Trump's been telling us as well. But above and beyond that, it's information that clearly shouldn't be discussed with this woman. No clearance, no engagement, no involvement, no position of power, like none of that at a restaurant. Waiters walking around, waitresses, it's crazy. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like a movie at some point.
I think they would kill him.
If he doesn't change his ways, then they can kill him.
So he says if he doesn't change his ways, they're gonna kill him. Okay, I mean, it's just the way in which he's speaking about this with such clarity, right? Such specificity in this is like, again, it's a bit worrying.
You're not a spy, right?
And then he goes on here, right? This is one of the most amazing things that I've seen. One of the most amazing things that I've seen, this part here. You're not a spy, right? He says, and then he goes on to quite literally talk about honeypots, right? He quite literally goes on to recite how effective the honeypot method could be. And then he goes on further to say how he's like captivated by this woman, not even realizing that he's in the midst of his own honeypot. You know what I mean? Like, you can't write this shit. You just can't write this shit. You really couldn't. This is going to be, probably a low budget Hollywood movie, but maybe a Netflix special, probably a Netflix special. But at least it's going to be, somebody's going to watch this at some point, I'm sure.
Your eyes have mesmerized me so much that I'm almost going to tell you. That's the easiest way to get intelligence. Like, just send a pretty girl, talk to the guy.
So
he literally says it. That's why it's so easy to get intelligence. You just literally send a pretty girl in there. Right after he finished saying that I'm so captivated with your pretty eyes. You know, like nothing was setting off the guy's alarm bells, right? No red flags in this, buddy. Nothing was saying, hey, maybe this is a setup. Maybe I shouldn't be divulging this information. Like, I don't know. I know he's probably to some extent intoxicated, so I'm sure his judgment is impaired. But Jesus Christ, again, the bad looks, the bad optics for this second Trump administration, they just fucking, the hits just keep on coming. I'm telling you.
you said there's missiles underground.
Yeah, and then again here, he goes on to divulge what I can only assume, because it's bleeped out, is very specific information as to where these missile sites are located. I'm not sure if he's talking about specifically in the Middle East or here in the United States, because like I said, they bleep it out, obviously, for good reason. But, you know, obviously the fact that they had to bleep it out tells us that it was very, specific and detailed information, and it was correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In the Cold War days, we had them like all over the place. But now we've kind of shrunk them down with Russia working with treaties. But then now you got China that's like, well, I don't have a treaty. So China's building more. They're planning to build more than we got.
Okay,
so
really?
That's the problem.
So he finishes explaining where the missiles are and how we've kind of limited our stockpile, and we used to have a lot more during the Cold War, but since then we've again drawn down our stockpile a lot. But he's also afraid of and going into the geopolitical aspects of how China doesn't see itself as being aligned with any treaties or any countries, so it doesn't have to involve itself with drawing down its nuclear capabilities. They're more worried about getting the most nuclear weapons. So again, this guy just going into like more and more heavy geopolitical information, sensitive information with this. It's just, he keeps digging this hole fucking deeper.
Like we have all these sensors in space. We have radars, all these sensors to detect a launch.
We got all these radars and sensors in space, and if you get out your napkin, give me a Sharpie, and I'll draw up and I'll give you the actual coordinates of exactly where those things are and exactly when it's going to fly over your house. You know what I mean? It's like, what other information does this guy want to put out there? Like, I'm surprised they didn't bleep this shit out. Right. And I know to some extent it's no like secret that we have radars and sensors up there. I'm sure that's, to a lot of people probably a known thing. But like this guy coming out there, the position that he holds, talking about the things that he's talking about, adding this little tidbit in there. It's just like, the icing on the cake, really.
You detect the launch coming from someone else?
Yeah, with space satellites, with radars, you'll see it on the radar. You actually see the thing flying. You'll know how big it is, the speed. That's a missile. I mean, you can tell all this stuff. This is serious. We were always trained if a Girl Scout gives you a message, a launch. And
this is a weird part people are referring to as well. Like he's talking about he's taught that if a Girl Scout brings or knocks on his door with a message and there's a message on the back of the Girl Scout cookie box and it checks out, like you're not supposed to second guess it, like you're supposed to follow through with whatever orders and whatever action. Like again, not sure if true. I'm sure there's some really weird procedures and policies, especially if like the lines of communication are down and like, the head of our government and the people in our government are trying to be targeted and they have to be in the bunkers or on the planes or wherever they go, whatever the fuck, if we're under attack, you know what I mean? Like, obviously they have to have different routes and methods to get information in different places. I don't know if it'll get as bad as like Girl Scout cookies. Like if it's as bad as that, like if it's to the point where we're writing messages on the back of fucking Thin Mints, you know what I mean? Like, why the fuck are we sending out Girl Scouts? Like, maybe it's a little bit too dangerous for the young girls to go out there and knock on doors to give like messages to launch our nuclear weapons. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, is anybody else going to think about this? I'm just curious. I don't know. Like, we have no communications. The White House can't talk to anybody that's, again, in charge of apparently launching these nukes. But do go ahead and send this little girl over to this house and write a message on the back of the back of her fucking Thin Mints so that they can launch these nukes. Like, yeah, this box will self-destruct, right? Like, shit, what was the, like Inspector Gadget, right? These Thin Mints will self-destruct in 5, 4, 3. Oh, you know what I mean? Like these idiots, absolute morons. Look at the guy. He looks like such a fucking chump anyway. I mean, he looks like he's lying about this whole thing, right? He looks like he just catfished this woman. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a Dateline segment about how this guy lied to millions and millions of women and stole like millions and millions of dollars from them, telling them that he was like the branch chief of the nuclear and chemical surety. You know what I mean? Like, that's what he looks like to me. He looks like, hey, you know what I mean? You wouldn't fucking believe where I worked there, Chico. You know what I mean? Let me tell you about the access that I got. I'll tell you right here what my classified number is. Like that's what I'm getting out of him right now. But let me see here, because he does go on talking about this Girl Scout, and we'll move on after this. But this whole part, and again, if maybe people in the military, maybe there's military, some military people in the chat that can tell me how ridiculous or maybe on point this is. Again, it sounds almost like over the top, as much like a movie wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? People would be too pissed off that you sent, again, a little girl into harm's way at a time like that. But, I digress.
So she knocks on your door, goes, here you go. She gives you a launch message on a box of cookies. She wrote it down. If it passes all the checks, go. If she just passes it on to you, that's all we're trying to say. No matter how you get it, take action. Because that's how you have to do in a war, because you don't know.
And again, that's where the video picked up, where we saw it to begin with, where he again says, you're not a spy, right? You're not a spy, right? You're not a spy, right? And she at no point answers the question. I don't know if there's some like legal ramifications to that, but she very clearly here, I might as well play. It's only about 10 seconds, but she very clearly doesn't answer the question. He asked very directly, I think 2 or 3 times, you're not a spy, right? You're not spying, right? And then she says, hey, you're powerful or something along those lines. So I don't know, are there any lawyers in the chat? Or is that kind of like, I don't know, is there legal ramifications to answering that question? Maybe, but check this out. You can tell me for yourself.
You met me. That's so sweet.
Mm-hmm. You're not spying. You're not spying, though, right?
You're just powerful.
But you're not spying, right?
You're just powerful. And I like that. Let's go back to the table. Okay, so
You know what I mean? Like, clearly she was dodging and ducking that question, right? Like that, if there wasn't red flags and sirens going off at any point during what this guy was doing and saying at the dinner table, then they should have been going off at least at that point. But again, how is your government doing, ladies and gentlemen, above and beyond the, unconstitutional illegal war that we're enacting right now, the blockade of a strait that was blockaded pretty much to begin with, the war crimes that we're now enacting, or again, the Nazi-like Gestapo force that's running amongst us on our streets, kind of demonizing and fucking pretty much shooting people in the face in broad daylight, and like all of these things. Like, how's your government doing? People ask. Well, don't ask here. And it gets worse. It gets worse. Here's another one of these instances that we've been kind of talking about a lot since Pete Hegseth got into the Pentagon. This is John Phelan, I believe his name is, and he was fired by the Pentagon with officials given no clear reason. Secretary, and again, John didn't hold like any like random position, right? He wasn't just like some random schmuck. No, John was the Secretary of the Navy. The Secretary of the Navy was fired by the Pentagon, again, in the midst of a Navy blockade, an act of war enacted by our Navy. We're now firing the Secretary of the Navy, John Phelan. And the problem is that it gets worse. And I'll let Fox News host, I don't know what this lady's name is, nor do I care, but this is where Fox News has to announce it on their television to their members here. It says it was not immediately clear if Phelan resigned or was fired, but Fox News has learned in the last few moments that he was in fact fired. This marks the 34th military officer that Secretary Hegseth has fired since taking over the agency. 34th. Like, let that number sink in. Let that number sink in. But here's just a quick clip, less than a minute here, of Fox News announcing it to their viewers that John Phelan, again, the Secretary of the Navy, was in fact fired today, again, in the midst of a Navy blockade that we're, again, enacting right fucking now. So, again, check this out.
Jackie, another breaking story tonight, a shakeup at the Pentagon, another one, the Navy Secretary departing his post. What do we know?
Yeah, the Pentagon spokesman just announced Navy Secretary John Phelan is departing the administration effective immediately, saying, quote, "We wish him well in his future endeavors." It was not immediately clear from this post if he resigned or was fired, but Fox News has learned in the last few moments that he was fired. He had a very close relationship, apparently, with Donald Trump.
And again, and I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, he probably spoke up at some point, right? He probably had a problem with something that Donald Trump was trying to enact, or he butted heads with Pete Hegseth or something like that. I'm not so sure. The guy that seemingly is taking his place, which I'll show you in just a second, seems to be a long-time Donald Trump ass-kisser, a long-time Donald Trump bootlicker who I've heard of and I've seen many times at Trump rallies. And again, you'll probably recognize him maybe because of his name or maybe just because of the clip that I'll play at some of the at one of the Trump rallies that he spoke at. But I just think that this guy maybe just wasn't enough of a Trump bootlicker, right? I just, like they said here, I think he just said on this Fox News clip that he was close to Trump. Let me see, I'll replay it, and then I'll stop it again just so I'm sure here.
That he was fired. He had a very close relationship, apparently, with Donald Trump Jr. and just hosted a bridal shower for his fiance this past weekend.
Okay, so very close relationship with Donald Trump Jr. hosted a bridal shower. So this isn't somebody that is like, not familiar with the Trump family, is a career military guy that has no involvement, nothing to do, and is just kind of caught up in Donald Trump's second term here. Okay, this guy's got some clear ties to the Trump family. I just think that this next guy is just going to be more willing to do what Trump wants to do without, maybe question it, without maybe telling him that it's not going to work or anything like that. So again, I know the first thought that people have maybe like, hey, maybe he kind of, stepped up. Maybe he didn't want to enact the blockade or whatever it may be. I'm not so goddamn sure. So let's just finish this out and then I'll show you who's taking his place.
In Palm Beach. Phelan was confirmed by the Senate just over a year ago. Undersecretary Hung Kao is to assume the role of acting secretary. This marks the 34th military officer that Secretary Hegseth has fired since taking over the agency, Brett.
Yeah, John Phelan at Navy Secretary there. And we'll try to get some more details. Jackie, thank you.
Looks like Brett's a little bit shaken up by this, right? Like he knows that reporting that the 34th secretary that Pete Hegseth has had to fire since he got in there is not necessarily a good look for this administration. Not that there's many good looks for this administration at this point, but, you know, to a point, Brett Baer's still got, I think, a little bit of sanity left in there. So you can tell by his reaction, his little cringe there, that he's like, Jesus Christ, this ain't good. Not only that, but did you hear her mention of who's taking his spot? I think you may recognize, like I said, at least the name. Let me throw this on your screen because, again, this is a picture of the guy that's being removed, but this statement has the guy's name in it that's going to be taking his place. So this is Osin Defender, and he says, according to the assistant of the Secretary of War for Public Affairs, U.S. Navy Secretary John C. Phelan is departing his post effective immediately. Undersecretary of the Navy Hung Kao will assume the duties as acting secretary. And some of you may be like, wow, I've heard that before. I recognize that from some of the Trump rallies, and others may be like, I have never heard that in my fucking life. Who the hell is Hung Kao? Well, let's get a little bit more acquainted with who Hung Kao is, okay? And again, I'm not going to subject you to too much, but this is Hung Kao, and again, I immediately recognize the name. I've made a few videos referencing Hung Kao and his involvement in his bootlicking of Donald Trump for a few Midas Touch videos. But this is, let me see, when was this? This was, it says a year ago, but it could be anywhere up until just before 2 years ago. But this is him speaking at a rally in Salem, Virginia. A Trump rally, obviously. He was the Republican candidate for the state Senate seat, had a response to the Democrats' recent accusations against the MAGA crowd. Apparently, I don't think he won. I think that's pretty evident that he didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong in that regard. Again, so much has happened and we've covered so much. It's hard to keep track of all these idiots and what happens with them. But again, here's just a quick clip of who's going to be taking over as Secretary of the Navy for Donald Trump's administration here. Again, somebody that has already spoken at a Trump rally, probably not a good start, right? Again, just throwing it out there, and not something that you'd like throw on there as like an accolade, right? A box that you want to see checked. Have you spoken at a Trump rally for, again, the interview process for Secretary of the Navy? I'm just saying, probably not something you want to see on there. But here he is. This is Hung Kao. And easy on the jokes in the chat. Go easy on the jokes in the chat, all right? We're trying to keep this channel at least up and running.
Hello, Virginia! Where are my Christian believers out there?
Now, does it already immediately, right off the bat, become evident as to why Pete Hegseth would decide to maybe get rid of the other Secretary of the Navy and put this guy in place, right? God, Christianity, making this a religious war, somebody thinking along the same lines as Pete Hegseth, right? The first words that he said, and I know this isn't like his interview or his job interview for the Secretary of the Navy, but again, this is what people like Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump know about this guy, like about this guy, why he's got the position that he holds now, and again, it just gets worse.
You're at the right rally! My name's Hung Kao.
Aren't they all? Sorry.
When the communists overran South Vietnam, we had nowhere to run to. But this amazing country called the United States took us in. America saved my life. And I grabbed onto that American dream. I went to the top schools in the country.
And I handed it right back to a pedophile. I handed it right back to the Epstein class, and I was so proud to do so, and I'm so proud to be here standing in front of you today telling you that I support the pedophile class. I'm going to support a guy that will rob you fucking blind, right? I will support this guy who tells you he's going to build a wall, take millions and millions of dollars from you, never build the fucking wall, go to jail, or his buddies will go to jail for that. Nobody will ever get mad at that guy for doing that. Like, let's fucking go, pedophile class, Epstein people. Woo!
United States Naval Academy, MIT, Harvard. But you know what?
I paid back every dime of that American dream.
Like, again, how that's another thing that's going to have to be studied. Like, how the fuck, like, every time you hear somebody that's like, I went to Harvard, MIT, fucking the Naval Academy, I worked for the CIA, I was fucking SEAL Team 6, and I'm still a fucking idiot. You know, I'm still dumb enough to buy Donald Trump's dog shit. Like, I'm still, corrupt enough, ignorant enough to be up here at a Trump rally. For people that probably wouldn't fucking piss on me if I was in flames on the side of the road. They'd take one look at me and they'd fucking kick me and probably keep walking. It fucking never, like, is anybody else, like, again, not shocked by that, but is anybody else like, how? You know what I mean? Like MIT, Harvard, and again, I'm not saying that because, Boston, but, any great school, any school that it takes, obviously a high IQ, obviously an intelligent person, right? Obviously somebody that can work out issues, has problem-solving abilities. Like, we hear, like, I say it about Sean Ryan all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, how the fuck? And again, I know it kind of runs rampant in the military to a large extent, but it's just, I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe you guys got some answers for me in the chat on that one. But it's just, how the fuck? How are you? Like, how? If I'm an idiot, you know what I mean? I'm just a fucking schmuck here with a camera and a microphone, right? Let's be real. Let's call a fucking spade a spade at this point, right? I mean, how am I landing on the right side of history? Right? How do I have a community of fabulous fucking people and individuals that are here not only to aggressively support and defend democracy, but also to get involved in every way, shape, or form they possibly can to speak up at a time where they think it's an existential fucking threat? Right? Like, how am I in this position? How did I recognize what the fuck was going on? And the people with the best education that money could possibly afford you don't seem to recognize, or again, do they recognize? And they're just, as they said in the Nazi Party, ruthless careerists, right? They all obviously know what, like, J.D. Vance, great example, right? J.D. Vance went from Donald Trump is America's Hitler, I'm a never Trump guy, to fucking how many boots can I lick, sir? Right? Like, bend over, how many areas of that taint would you like covered, sir? Right? You know what I mean? Like, he knows what he's doing is fucking stupid. He knows the policies and procedures and people that he's covering up for are all decrepit assholes. But he's a fucking careerist. He sees a path to the top. He sees a path to power, and he's going to utilize that. And he's going to act and change his name and fuck couches and do whatever he possibly can to make sure that he gets to the top, so that he makes that, worthwhile. Like, that's a ruthless careerist. You know what I mean? That's just somebody that doesn't give a shit, knows what he's doing is wrong. And, as long as there's some money, power, and bitches coming in your way, you know what I mean? Like, they don't care. So, but a lot of these other guys, are they that stupid? What's the opposite of that? Like, what is the alternative? They can't all be ruthless careerists, right? At some point, somebody's going to have to be fooled and tricked by this bullshit. It's just, I don't know. It's crazy to me. But this is Hung Kao. This is who's going to now take over as Secretary of the Navy, again, as we're involved in an act of war in a Navy blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. This guy's going to hop right into power, straight from the Trump rally podium, straight into, again, an act of war, utilizing the United States Navy. So, again, if that doesn't, again, give you an idea of, what state our government is in right now, look no further. I bid you to this. It's, you know what I mean? All right. Well, this is, let's see here. Should we do this one first? Let's see if we can go on to this. Let's see if we can go on to this next one. I really do appreciate you guys who are here watching. If I'm not mistaken, I think Hal's going a little late tonight. So I thank you guys for being over here. What's up, Alex? What's going on, my brother? What's up, Jim? What's up, Doc Yoz? What's up, Tiff? How are you? What's up, Adam? Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well. We love you. What's going on, Ellen? How are you, Jan? Always good to see you guys. What's up, Tom? I see you in there, brother. I see you in there. They only care about themselves is absolutely right. That's not it. But I do appreciate you, Karen. Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Tom. Absolutely. And what a picture. Look at that. I know it's not new, but that's a fabulous picture that you got there. DPD says, in Boston, Brian, don't ever let me hear you put yourself down again. You are a very intelligent man. Yeah, no, I mean, No, come on. Let's not. I appreciate the kind words. I do. I appreciate the support and the kind words. But even when you put it into perspective, even if you take it out of perspective, right? But when you put it into perspective to, MIT, Harvard level, CIA level, SEAL Team 6, like these different, skill sets and the knowledge that you need in order to just get to these places. Never mind graduate and get on to the next level. It's a clear difference. You know what I mean? I'm not, I'm conceded to a point, but not much. Come on. But I do love you and I appreciate the kind words. So thank you very much. All right. I just want to get into this. This is probably, we might as well do this. This is just a quick update a little bit as to what was going on with the Strait of Hormuz. Let me throw this on your screen here. Just to kind of fill everybody in, see if there's anything that we missed in between the earlier show and today. This kind of just flies through a little bit of what was taking place. And again, if it starts to stray on what it's covering, we can just move on because we got a ton to cover tonight. We got, like I said, Jen and Pumps coming up next, talking about Alex Jones. So that should be a good one. And then we got some Tim Pool. We got a couple Lego videos. So that should be fun. Like I said, some James O'Brien, some TYT, some Benny Johnson, a little bit of Ukraine. Like we got a ton to get into. So I won't waste too much time on this one. But let me see if we can just get a little bit updated on anything that may have taken place. So please hit that like button. Again, my name's Brian. This is Blunt Politics. I really do appreciate you for joining me. Off we go.
Hello, everyone. I'm the Enforcer, along with the breaking news. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and support us on Patreon. Link in the description below. Today we have breaking news.
I'm just going to grab a drink real quick while this is playing. I'll be back in 38. No, fucking what's not going to take me 38. I'll be back in about 26 seconds. How about that?
Coming from around the world, and particularly from the Strait of Hormuz, as the Islamic Republic of Iran's Navy of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is currently flooding into the area of the Strait of Hormuz, with dozens of fast attack boats being seen on satellite pictures. Meanwhile, the Iranians have also attacked and seized several vessels within the Strait of Hormuz over the course of this day. Bleak news has started to emerge from the United States of America's intelligence sources and the Congress, as word has emerged that clearing the minefield within the Strait of Hormuz could take a considerably longer amount of time than was anticipated, possibly a time of nearly 6 months. This is also,
which is crazy because that lines up with the reporting that we were talking about the other day of this being, even if they were to come to some sort of agreement, even if these peace talks did somehow take place, like it would be probably about roughly 6 to 9 months before you'd actually see, a deal take place or these things actually start to take effect or anything like that. So, this is going to be, a longer process than obviously Donald Trump is letting on. He continues to say that this is pretty much near over. It's kind of over. It's maybe over. He thinks it's over. You could consider it over at points, but not really over. You know what I mean? And it may just be getting started for all we know, considering the talking out of the both sides of their mouths that both sides are doing. Like, we want to talk, we don't want to talk, but also we're getting ready, for Armageddon. Basically, we're locked and loaded and ready to go. But yeah, this is, kind of striking to hear that, even if they did agree to take all of the mines or to demine the strait, that it could be up to 6 months. Right. And again, I don't know if the traffic would be able to resume to its pre-war level. If in fact there wasn't that, assuredness that there were no mines left in the strait. So maybe it would take up to that 6 months and maybe even beyond for the traffic to get back to normal. And again, this is all speculative. This is all hypothetical at this point, because at this point, there's no talks engaged. There's no talks happening. And, we're kind of at a standstill right now. So
also come at the same time as the Iranians have continued to be on the warlike footing that they have been since yesterday and are making it incredibly clear that they believe that the ongoing U.S. blockade requires a military response by the Islamic Republic of Iran. We have also been able to get additional news that the state of Ukraine is now assisting U.S. forces near to the area of the Prince Sultan Air Base south of Riyadh in Saudi Arabia and being able to use and be...
What a fucking story, huh? I mean, come on. You can't write this up any better for Zelensky. You really can't. Being absolutely berated in the fucking Oval Office, right? Having Donald Trump screaming in your face, having JD Vance acting a fucking absolute fool, just to have this come back at the point where Zelensky steps in and says, hey, do you guys need a hand? You know what I mean? Like, Think of that moment for Zelensky. Think of that like, oh, I told you motherfuckers it was going to come to you, right? Like Zelensky sat in the Oval Office and was like, hey, I know you guys think you got a fucking ocean in between, you assholes, right? I know you think that waterway, that body of water that surrounds you on a couple sides there makes you fucking really tough and strong. But guess what? You know, you can feel the fucking impacts. You will feel the hurt. You know what I mean? It may not be militarily. It may not be with bombs and missiles, right? It may not be with people invading the shores of the United States, but boy, do you have another thing coming, right? And Donald Trump said, don't you fucking tell me what's coming to the United States. Don't tell me what we should be worried about. Well, did that come back to bite him in the fucking mushroom pecker, right? Because now, I mean, obviously, we've heard clearly the reporting that's been out there of the assistance that Zelensky and the Ukrainians have been giving to the different Middle Eastern regions to help them defend against, obviously, the drone and missile attacks. But again, to hear that they're now actively helping out, I believe, I don't know if he specified what part of the United States military. Let me see if I can rewind that for a second. See if he actually says it.
Additional news that the state of Ukraine is now assisting U.S.
You know, it'd be great if it'd be great if you put it on the screen there, Brian. All right, here we go. All right, one more time.
Forces near to the area of the Prince Sultan Air Base south of Riyadh in Saudi Arabia, and being able to use and be able to properly defend against Iranian drones with Ukrainian-made air defense systems.
So we got Ukrainian-made air defense systems in and around the Prince Sultan Air Base, if I'm following correctly. Again, helping the United States defend against Iranian missiles and drones. Again, the irony, the fucking, the chef's kiss of that is, again, it's not flying over my head. I'm telling you, it's definitely noticed.
We have also heard at the same time that the Russian port of Tuapse is still suffering a significant fire, which is blazing throughout the entirety of the oil.
This is where he kind of goes on to. We got some videos that will cover that exact thing that he's talking about. So for the sake of time, let's see if we can hop on to this next clip here. Thank you guys once again. Appreciate you for joining me. Next one we got here is from Jen and Pumps from the I've Had It podcast, getting into a little bit of Alex Jones foolery. I could cover this story by myself, obviously, and show you guys the clip, but I think it's been a little bit since we've tuned into what Jen and Pumps had to say. I figured I'd give them the opportunity to give their 2 cents on Alex Jones's meltdown about the Onion finally taking over for Infowars. I don't know. Again, I don't know if you saw the clip, but it's funny. It's funny. So let's see if we can dive into a couple minutes of this one, and then, like I said, we got a ton of other things to cover. So we'll move on. We'll move on rapidly once you guys have seen the best part. So hit that like button, and I really do appreciate you guys.
Everyone that sucks up to MAGA gets humiliated. Caitlyn Jenner getting humiliated. She got her passport back. They changed the gender on it, male. Tim Cook made Donald Trump that participation trophy, humiliated himself. A gay man, you guys, a gay man went to the Oval Office and bent the knee to that old Queen Trump. And here's how Trump repays Tim Cook. Pop this up. He puts out some batshit True Social post, and he says, Trump, here's an excerpt of it. I was very impressed with myself to have the head of Apple calling to, quote, kiss my ass. So you all think, oh, we have to do.
Is that the same guy he called Tim Apple? Isn't that who he called Tim Apple? I'm just going to fast forward here where they start to talk about Alex Jones's meltdown. Yeah, here he is. Here he is right here. Wait, again, if you haven't seen this.
Backed by the Sandy Hook family.
Who in their right mind, right? Like, and I swear, I have friends that all the time, like, would just show up shirtless, all the time, to the most random thing. So to a point, but like on camera, like when you're doing, like, again, supposedly a news show and you're talking about politics and stuff like that, like, wait do you see how Alex Jones just strolled out in front of cameras on not his show, or his show but not his segment. I don't know what the fuck it is, but wait do you see this.
Who Alex Jones terrorized for years, accusing them of being paid actors, all just horrible shit, basically saying your kids didn't die, and everybody knows that that's not true, and incredibly cruel. And they sued him and they won, and now the Onion owns Infowars, and here he's going through some things processing this. This was from today. Play the clip.
Take something over and then act like you're somebody, even if you say it's a parody. You can do a parody of somebody, but none of you took something from them. Right. We've already checked with lawyers, so they're in deep shit. I'm already suing the Democrat Party law firms. Already got civil rights lawsuits. So you think, look, just because you're wearing my shirt
What?
Don't-
Literally? Like literally, I'm sorry. I know people have used the phrase like take the shirt right off your back. I didn't know that like typically did actually take place. You know what I mean? I didn't know that this lawsuit did in fact include the shirt off of Alex Jones's back. Like Jesus Christ, like the fucking Onion. I want the lawyers for the Onion, right? Because if they got not only Alex Jones's desk, right, but also the literal shirt off his fucking back. Like, those are some good ass lawyers. I'm telling you, that's some good ass. But why? Why? You don't have a tank top. You don't have did you just get out of the sauna? Do you have do you tan often behind the scenes? Like, what is happening with this? Like, he's got papers in his hand, like he's working, like he just did a segment. Did he do a shirtless segment? I don't know. He's clearly losing his shit. Lost his shit a long time ago, but you know, even his partner in crime here, whoever this fucking schmuck is right here, like even he's like, what the fuck is happening? What are we doing? We go like, you can say what you want to say, but can you go fucking put on your shirt? Like, Jesus Christ, look at him.
I mean, you're me. So let's be 100% clear about that. And so you guys just keep laughing, just like you did a year and a half ago.
Well, stop giving us ample reason to laugh directly in your fucking fat face, okay? Please. Like, again, not only when you come on set, like, with shit like this, but when you've said shit like this as
Superpowers,
well,
being honest, I will eat my neighbors.
that doesn't really bode well for, like, your psyche, like, your cognitive ability. Like, we don't really tend to take people seriously when they stroll out on a I don't know, again, what do you call this? Some fake news set, right? Whatever. It's just fucking unreal, this guy.
Or it was November 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So is that about a year and a half?
And thank you. I see you guys in there. I appreciate you, Sparklers. I appreciate you guys in there. I see you. Shout out Sparklers in there. Please hit that like button on the way in. Let everybody know that you're just joining us. Maybe some other people will filter in, but I love you one and all. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you for your support. Very much appreciated. Please thank Hal for sending everybody over. Shout out to CSL if you're in there. My apologies if I missed you, my friend. Typically, he stops by for at least a second to say hi. So shout out to everybody coming from the old Sparkler universe. All right. We're just getting into a little bit of Alex Jones here. What you've missed, in case you are just joining us, we've gone through obviously I'll throw this on the screen. We won't go through it again, but just to kind of catch everybody up in case you're just joining us, we went through the Army branch chief of the chemical nuclear surety going out there and just basically getting honey potted to shit, right? So we went through that in case that was a story that you haven't heard. I would definitely advise you guys to go check out the undercover camera footage that came from that, because boy, was this guy fucking just letting loose with the lips. Loose lips sink ships, baby. And this guy was ready to sink some fucking ships. So that's just one of the aspects that we covered. And then there was this story of, again, the Secretary of the Navy that was fired so that, Trump's sycophant Hung Kao could step in and take his place. So we just kind of been catching up on that. Now we are just looking into the meltdown here of Alex Jones and a little bit of coverage from the I've Had It podcast. Ladies, both Jen and Pumps, going to give us their 2 cents on what they think of Alex Jones waddling around shirtless, trying to defend himself against the Onion. Like, why he thought this was going to be the look that was going to get him out there and make sense. And it was beyond me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is a story from December 10th. Sale of Alex Jones Infowars to the Onion rejected. And I'll get into this. And
So but yeah.
Yeah. Who's the story by? Is it by Infowars? Is it by Infowars? Here's a story right here from Infowars that says Infowars didn't get sold.
They need to be us to confuse people. By the way, it's a total failure. He goes, we're the 5th biggest newspapers. That's a lie. Newspapers are all dead.
Okay, so just for those of you that are listening, he's standing there without his shirt on. Why? Because he's saying...
I love Pumps. Like, why? Like, what the fuck was that? Like, hold on. I got something for that. We got the old... you could pull out the Chris Farley for that one. What in the hell was that all about? Christ, where do I have it? Is it this one?
What in the hell was that all about?
You took the shirt off my back. It was metaphorical. As I'm just deducing here, but that's what seems apparent.
Oh, that's stupid. I mean, she's probably fucking right. I should have probably picked that up when he even referenced the shirt off his back, but I didn't honestly give him that much credit. I probably still don't give him that much credit. Like he, you know what I mean? I don't know if he's that deep of a guy. He might as well just gone out there just fully buck naked and say they took everything from him at that point. Not like the cameras that he got powerful enough to see his little fucking mushroom pecker anyway, if you know what I mean. But, I wouldn't put it past him for that stupid little fucking act. So again, way to ruin the fun, Jen. Jesus Christ.
Apparent to me. But under the Onion's leadership, they started now in this.
Doc Leon says, makes me want to hit the gym. Oh shit. Touche. Good shit. Good shit.
Just started now they've started selling Pride merch from the Infowars website. Pop this up. Lies never look so
great.
good. Infowars, and it has all the like rainbow flag color of info.
So this is what the Onion is doing to Alex Jones's previous site that he had. So you're now turning the Infowars logo to the O is the Onion. Now printing out the rainbow stuff. I even saw a couple. I don't have it pulled up here, but there was a couple posts, pretty good memes on Twitter that were kind of depicting Alex Jones in drag or depicting him wearing kind of like a rainbow wig and stuff like that at the desk of his Infowars desk and stuff like that. I don't know if those were put out by the Onion or if just people are taking the piss or what, but they were pretty funny. I should have pulled them up, but we had a ton of stuff to get into here.
Wars, which I love. I mean, it's so beautiful that the Onion ended up with this.
I know, and he's like, the Onion took it from me. No, judgments and juries found your behavior so deplorable they took punitive damages from you, and you had to sell your company because that's where you spread lies. Correct. Alex. And here's the thing. I'm so happy the Onion is doing this because I have found during Trump 2.0, like the parody on SNL and stuff, it's not as funny because the shit they're doing in real life, it's so by far worse than the parody that this actually made me laugh out loud legitimately, where most of the parody shows I watch and think, in real life, it was better because it's so fucking crazy. So good for the Onion.
All right. And then Alex Jones blames Trump for the Infowars being bought. Pop this up.
But President Trump, through Todd Blanche, the Democrat Party lawyer, deputy head of the AG then, now the DOJ head, killed Ed Martin's investigation into their operations, their fake auctions, the DOJ funding the fake lawsuits against me. They have all the documents. They killed that 6 months ago. I didn't blame Trump for that. But I do now blame Trump for coming out and openly endorsing their lawsuits and saying I deserve it. It was the very same law firms that sued him, Paul Weiss, that are running all of this. That's what represents the Onion turds. So Trump has now openly joined forces with the Democrat Party to shut down Infowars.
Yep.
And it's just beyond disgusting.
Oh, the demise of fucking MAGA. Again, it starts from the top, right? Fish rots from the head, ladies and gentlemen. So again, it was always going to be the Alex Joneses, the Candace Owens, the Tucker Carlsons. It was always going to be this people, the rats jumping, fucking leaping from this sinking ship. And then it's just only a matter of time before it filters down to, again, the casual people that watch, whoever watches this type of bullshit, right? It's only a matter of time. And to a large extent, we have seen those cracks forming. But again, they don't really have a place to run. Again, that's kind of why I keep saying that, the base will be the base until the end. Those people have, again, they've lost jobs, they've lost family, they've lost relationships, wives, husbands, whatever it may be. They've lost custody of children. They've lost careers because of their involvement or because of their love affair or because of their, overwhelming fucking representation or defending of Donald Trump, the GOP, the Epstein files, whatever it may be. There's nowhere for them to turn, right? They've been kicked out of houses. They've been kicked out of communities, right? They've been kicked out of housing complexes. So to a large extent, they put themselves in this position where they've got no outlet. You know what I mean? They got nowhere to run, nobody to turn to, nowhere to hide. They got to ride this fucking bitch out till it's done. They're putting these, till the wheels fall off, basically. So, it was always going to start here. It was always going to start at the top with the same people that were responsible for taking the millions and millions and millions of dollars and getting Donald Trump elected in the first place. So, That was a little bit of the I've had it, ladies, going through Alex Jones's bullshit, and it's good to see again the Onion doing what they're doing with his old platform and really sticking it to him in ways that is going to bug him. Like it's going to fucking cause some restless nights for Alex Jones when he sees the rainbow flying all over the place on his Infowars, right? When he sees them selling the fucking the LGBTQIA merch and representing trans people and whatever else they're going to do with that site and with that platform now, like it's going to cause him some fucking heart palpitations. All right, let's dive on to the fan favorite, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys know, I'm sure you guys have been awaiting. A few more of these have dropped. This one, I'm surprised at even how quick this one is. So this one's already referencing. And again, I know it's AI. It's not, but they're pretty fucking spot on. So, let me have my fun here. Let me have my fucking fun. But already talking about the Virginia redistricting loss for Donald Trump and the GOP, right? Like something you wouldn't really expect the Legos videos to cover. And I'm not quite sure. This one says from Soph Mara and BNN. Don't know what their affiliation is. Don't know where they're from. I'm not saying this is specifically or directly from the Iranian side, but it's pretty crazy that this is like a topic that they're hammering on anybody that's making these videos. But I just want to show you this. Let me see. I'll start this from the beginning if I can. Right. And there's this one. And I think I have one more to get to as well. So let's see what else they're cooking up here as far as people making these Lego videos. Again, this one talking about, you can see there, Virginia election night, already talking about Trump's loss and the GOP's loss as far as the redistricting in Virginia. Didn't see that one coming, but here it is.
Good evening. And welcome to the night's election broadcast. Virginia held a referendum, and the results are in at last. The yes vote has been called at 50 to 49%. A constitutional amendment passes, and a political message sent. Every vote counted, every district now on record.
Got that like old school R&B, like that 90s style hit that sound to it. I kind of like it. But this is crazy too. You see what it says there? I mean, I know it's misspelt, but I mean, have you officially made it when the Lego videos start including and incorporating your channel? The Midas Touch network in the Lego videos? And like I said, I know it's misspelt, but it's AI, so typically everything is, right? But how many Midas Touch networks are there, really? You know what I mean? So, it's just a little Easter egg I saw.
This is the documented result of what Virginia delivered. Virginia voted yes, and the maps are being redrawn. The redistricting referendum carried through until the dawn. 6 to 5 was the breakdown before the votes came in. 10 to 1 is the projection when the new maps are written. Democrats fought fire with fire, and the yes
Democrats fought fire with fire. I mean, did they watch my podcast? Come on. And I know I'm being facetious. I'm joking, obviously. But, I mean, that's exactly what we said. I mean, that's what I said in the show. What was it, this morning? Fuck, I don't remember now. Everything blended together. But I said, finally, the Democrats are fighting fire with fire, right? That's what I said. You can play it back.
Won the night, Virginia changed the congressional picture. With this fire. June 2025, the Texas redistricting effort started. Trump pushed the Lone Star State. In the mid-decade process was charted. Republicans in Texas won the plan could backfire badly. So
it said Abigail Spanberger on the fucking calendar. Oh, there it says right there on the top anyway. Holy shit. I mean, they're going deep. They're going heavy on the details. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I think these are so engaging, right? Like, that's what I said to the boys over at Midas when I sent it over. I said, I think you guys finally made it now that you're in the Legos, right? But it's like, it's like, it's really not kind of, at this point, people are still calling it propaganda. But at what point does it stop being propaganda? Because it's literally just referencing news articles, factual fucking events. You know what I mean? Like everything that we've already known. This is just basically detailing the election results. Like, is that propaganda or is that just kind of a way to get news at this point? I don't know. You tell me. You guys let me know in the chat.
GOP incumbents worried it would hit their districts. Sadly, California California Governor Gavin Newsom watched and made his move. Proposition 50 passed and set the readers.
Even talking about Proposition 50 here in California, right? God damn. I mean, telling you, they did their research. They continue to astound me with the research and the level of knowledge they have of not only like the rumor mill here, in the political atmosphere here in the United States, but also, just these like current news events. Just
And groove. Barack Obama recorded a message urging Virginia voters out. Said voting yes would push back against what redistricting was about. Early voting numbers climbed to record levels statewide. Communities across Virginia showing up with organized pride. Scott Presler traveled to Roanoke, pushing hard for no visit at Mount Pleasant Elementary, telling every voter where to go. Midas Touch Network projected the yes vote, pulling ahead. Zachary Denini from Vote Hub said
the Midas Touch Network projected the yes vote. I didn't even catch that the first time.
No, pushing hard for no visit at Mount Pleasant Elementary, telling every voter where to go. Midas Touch Network projected the yes vote, pulling ahead. Zachary Denini from Vote Hub said 4-point margin red, accounting for provisional ballots and late arriving mail. The final margin was expected to increase.
Is Brett cooking these up behind the scenes? Huh? You know what I mean? We're going to find out Brett's been cooking these up behind the scenes. One of these channels is just Brett Mycelis fucking tossing these out. How funny would that be?
Without fail, Virginia districts 1 and 2 and 5 and 6 all shifted. Each win plus
Virginia districts 1 and 2 and 5 and 6 and 20 and 7 and 42. Like at a little point, they get a little, a little carried away on that one, I think. But I think the point is pretty clear. But there's another one. This is one of the OGs. This is one of the OGs. Okay, so I know this one is an OG. I can fully represent this as being one of the OGs. This is Persia Boy Hemet. Okay. So in case you're wondering where they're coming from, you ever seen one coming from this one, it's legit. Okay, these are the legit ones. There's a lot of copycats out there, a lot of phonies, a lot of fakes, but we try to sift through those. But this is another one, another Kash Patel meltdown that they're making fun of, and this time I think they got the eyes spot on. Last time they were a little off on the eyes. They were a little too, symmetrical. They were a little too, straight. Okay, I think this time they got it just right. Check this one out.
Keystone Cash having a meltdown. Couldn't log in, thought Trump fired him. And the man, what? Keystone Cash, crazy eyes popping, make was direct to fast. Couldn't log in, thought he got fired. What a joke, panicked hard, blowing up phones total. Keystone Cash, bulging eyes wild like he's losing control, drinking heavy, showing the blade, can't do the job, suing the Atlantic for $250 million. What a fraud. April 10th, one glitch, and he lost his mind. Called 9 people screaming, I got fired this time. Make a wish director, agents laughing in the back. While I ran hacks his email, he has a heart attack. Keystone Cash, crazy.
While Iran hacks his email, he has a heart attack. Again, talking about him being locked out of his account and thinking that he got fired. Now just kind of throwing it out there that there was a possibility that it was Iran hacking into his account. Sorry, but the eyes are killing me. The eyes are killing me. I can't turn it up. That's all I got. That's all I got as far as volume. I apologize.
What a joke, panic hard, blowing up phones total. Bro, heavy drinking rumors showing up sloppy and late. Fighting real agents, keeping the clowns on the plate. Bulging eyes, snapping at the smallest little glitch. Biggest clown in the FBI, straight up snitch. You want a revenge on the deep state? Thought you were the man, one login failed, and you cried like a little kid down. Now you're suing for $250 million, screaming defamation. Paranoid drunk, you're the real embarrassment nation. Keystone Cash, crazy eyes popping, make a wish direct. Thought he got fired from a login screen. Pathetic guy. I ran still standing.
Make a difference, laughs at you.
Pathetic guy. Keystone Cash.
Keystone Cash. They don't even give him a good beer. I mean, if that's what they're referencing, Keystone beer, they don't even give him a good. They give him the cheap shit. Or is that what he was drinking in the locker room? Is that what they were drinking in the locker room at the? I don't even remember anymore what he was drinking, but I'm sure it's a reference to something. The fucking eyes.
Biggest joke, walking total trash. Fake defense. We see them crazy eyes. We see them melt down, melt down, melt down. We don't forget. What?
So you can always tell you can always tell a Persia boy drop. I'm telling you, you can always tell because they're just a little above the grade, right? They're just a little bit more well done than all the rest of them. Not only the lyrics, but the beats, the details, what they're talking about. You can just tell kind of the imitations. Not that they, some of the imitations ain't good, but I mean, they just they don't get as good as that. I mean, what was the other one? What was my favorite? There was what was oh, you know what? It might not have been his. That's what's crazy about it. Epstein Queen was a good one. The Hormuz Hustle, was it the Hormuz Hustle? Was it Fake Jesus? Fake Jesus was a good one. Remember this one?
Yeah.
Hold on.
He posted himself as Jesus. Then said I was just the doctor. Fake Jesus, fake Jesus. You put on the robe and the glowing light, pretending to heal while you start the fight.
That was a good one. And then there was I know the Epstein Queen was a good one. What was the other one though? There was one where he's like talking about shooting. Oh, he's like shooting at the moon. Was it this one? Yeah, I think it was this one.
They failed at the talks. Now they want to blockade the strait. Hormuz hustle. Hormuz hustle.
Oh, maybe it wasn't, but still a good one.
Run the muscle. Blockade our blockade. Go ahead, try your luck.
So, I don't know. It might not have been that one, but there's I was like shooting. I know the lyrics more than I know like what the name of it would have been. But anyway, you guys get the drift. He's got some pretty good ones out there. Epstein Queen's good. Remember this one?
Yeah. I've never been friends with Epstein, but the pictures tell a different story. Epstein Queen, kissing on the lips, living that scene. She says, never friends with a straight face, but the files got trumped by the balls. That's why she was smiling near the ear, hand on his chest, kissing Epstein beat, while the cameras click the rest. Now she's on TV saying we were never close.
Like I would play that in my car. I would play that in my car. I would get a stereo system and a couple fucking subwoofers just to play that in my car. I would. Shit you not. Embarrassing as that is to admit, I fucking would. Don't you tempt me either. Don't you tempt me. Don't you tempt me. All right, what do you say we dive on? I appreciate you guys dealing with my bullshit on that one. What do we get into here? Should we call out? We got two choices. No, I always say I give you choices, then it's like half hour before we get through it in the chat decided. But it's always a tough. I got so much that I want to dive into. We'll do the TYT. We'll do the TYT first. Call them out. We'll call them out because it's always fun calling these idiots out. Again, this was something that I saw coming way down the line. This is why I have been pretty consistent in kind of reminding everybody what these people are responsible for, what they've engaged in, what they've supported, and who they've defended in the past, as we're using their, civil war, their fucking beef that they've now got between these people to our benefit, right? So we can still do that while also recognizing just how much damage these people have caused and how we're not going to just say, hey, we're not going to throw open the door to the tent and say, come on in now that you've apologized to whatever extent. You've gone on camera and said words. So now all of a sudden you're like, good, we can forget about all the bullshit that you've done, said, and been responsible for in the past. Not fucking happened. Not on my watch. Ain't happening. These people ain't going to be fucking just let back into decent society. We can't forget that, and I'll let that come on. I'll let it play for a second here because, I'll go off on a tangent. Next thing you know, it'll be time to get out of here. We'll never play any of these videos. But again, this is TYT, just with their ongoing Tucker Carlson I don't even know what you'd call it. Like, again, rewriting of history, trying to, rehash or revamp his image somehow, or trying to make it seem like he's just not as bad as you'd think, ever since he left. Like, I don't understand this whole shift. I mean, it fits right in line with the shift that Cenk and Anna have been on for quite some time now. So that makes sense. But the whole thing doesn't make sense to me. So this is them basically willing you to forgive Tucker Carlson because he went on camera and said that he was in some way responsible for this and that he was sorry. Okay, that's supposed to be enough for Tucker. I mean, that's supposed to be enough for Cenk and Anna to just say, okay, you know what, we forgive you, brother. Forget about all those nights on Fox News. Forget about all those lies that you told. Forget about how many people you propagandized. Forget about how many people you straight fucking lied to. How many Democrats you lied about. How many policies you were misleading the people about. Whatever, the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? But they're not as I guess as staunchly against Tucker Carlson as I am, obviously. So check this out. This is, again, TYT doing their best to simp for Tucker Carlson to get him back in everybody's good graces.
Not only has Tucker Carlson come out with his clearest break from President Trump yet, he's actually expressing a great deal of remorse for helping to get Trump elected in the first place. Take a listen.
You and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him, I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure. Yes. It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like, in very small ways, but in real ways, you and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now. Yes. So,
and I did go on to learn that fucking decrepit looking son of a bitch who who looks like he was left out in the sun too long is apparently Tucker's brother, if I'm not mistaken. Is that Tucker's brother? Somebody said that. Yeah, somebody actually, yeah. Soka said it right there. That's his brother. Is it a brother from another mother situation? Because Jesus, or they just leave him in the cooker too long? I'm curious. I don't know. Like Tucker, I'm just asking questions. Sorry.
I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be.
Good.
And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people.
Not accepted.
And it was not intentional. That's all I'll say.
No. See, that's the thing. That's the fucking thing right there. That's what, that's the part that pisses me the fuck off, because it was intentional. It was absolutely intentional. Again, you pick and choose what was on your nightly TV show, your primetime Fox TV show that you got to talk about, right? You weren't just fucking Ron Burgundy and the fucking words coming across the teleprompter, right? And they could have just put anything on there. You would have never known. You just read whatever's on there. No. You knew, you prepped for the show, you did the stories, you figured out the lies that you were going to tell, not to fucking mention the text messages that were released as a part of, I believe, the Dominion lawsuit, which again showed that you despise Donald fucking Trump, which you thought he was a detriment to society. You thought that he was going to ruin the Republican Party. And of course, I'm paraphrasing to a certain extent here. You guys can go back and look up, Tucker Carlson's text messages during Fox News about Donald Trump. And you guys can read for yourself everything that he said behind the scenes, of course, what he really felt about Donald Trump. But at the same fucking time, he's saying that shit behind the scenes. Every fucking night he's going out on Fox News and sucking on that man's hog. Every single night he's up there jacking him off as hard as fucking possible, trying to get that man elected. But he hates him. He despises him. He thinks he's a sicko. He's a creep. He's a loser. He's a fucking degenerate. But boy, let me get on there in front of that desk and put it in my mouth, baby. I'm ready to get Donald Trump rolling on a second term here. Every single fucking night. So again, it was very purposeful. It was very intentional. That's what that shows me, okay? This wasn't like, oh, some fucking, you got rolled up in the propaganda. You got wrapped up in the bullshit, right? You got caught up in the whirlwind that was fucking Donald Trump. Sorry, not fucking having it. Because at least, and at that point, when the text message came out, you had already fucking seen the light. You had already seen what everybody else was seeing and how much of an asshole the guy was. But yet you decided, because of either the paycheck, because of the, the proximity to power that you were going to have if he did continue being president, that you would sit there and simp and defend and obfuscate for the guy. So no, your fucking apology is not accepted. No, you're not just welcome back into society. No, you don't just get to rewrite fucking history. And no, you just don't get to fucking sit here and lie to us about this not being intentional. And now you're all of a sudden sorry. Sorry, not fucking sorry. That's what I got to say about that. That's my 2 cents on that one.
So this episode featured Tucker Carlson, obviously, and the second individual that you see is his brother, Buckley Carlson, who had previously written speeches for President Donald Trump, and much like his brother Tucker, has soured on Trump, especially lately, given his commitment to Israel to the detriment of the American people.
Yeah, it wasn't January 6th again with these people. It's weird. And they're so ready to forgive him, but it wasn't the January 6th, right? It wasn't the potential fucking hanging in public of our elected officials, right? With the gallows, remember the gallows and the noose that they had, that they built, that they had the wood for, they had the tools for, that they were ready for, along with the guns, the bear spray, the knives, and the bats and the batons and all the shit that they had, and they broke it. Remember that January 6th? No, so that wasn't January 6th that did him for him, right? It wasn't doing that. It wasn't the entirety of the genocide that has been ongoing. It wasn't Donald Trump's love and support for Vladimir Putin and his unwillingness to, again, get him to stop with his, illegal and brutal invasion of Ukraine. It wasn't any of that. It wasn't like the sexual assault allegations against Donald Trump. It wasn't like his connections to Jeffrey Epstein or proximity living, close to Jeffrey Epstein everywhere he fucking went. It wasn't the fact that he's, again, defending and denying the Epstein files from actually being released in their entirety. It wasn't that or anything like that. It wasn't the 34 felonies or anything about that. It wasn't all of the blatant fraud and corruption that Donald Trump's been engaged in, whether it's crypto scams, whether it's his watches, whether it's his golden shoes, his fucking NFT cards, his colognes, you name it. He's involved in it, right? His Bibles, his coins, his commemorative cards, whatever it may be, his $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS. None of these things seem to be enough for these people to break stride with Donald Trump. But all of a sudden now they're coming to see the light when, again, the whole world is ready to collapse in on them and the MAGA movement. So again, I don't feel bad for those last rats that put themselves on that ship, that now all of a sudden see themselves with their fucking head and nose and nostrils just barely poking above water before they finally go under, now deciding to get off the fucking ship. That's just, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm a little bit too harsh. I don't know. Let me know how you feel in the chat about it.
But Cenk, your 2 cents.
So I don't know what people want past that. I mean, that.
Did you see, after, I don't know how many words that was, but do you see a clear and distinct difference between the way that Cenk and I kind of approach these things? Do you see like maybe a little bit of a willingness on Cenk's part to be like a lot more forgiving because of the proximity to power. Tucker still has a lot of sway as far as media, I'm sure, at getting people's attention, getting clicks, something that Cenk could really benefit from the more and more they go on his show, whether it's Anna or Anna or Cenk. But you see how like different we are? Right, so not the same whatsoever. Very, very different in the way that we're approaching this. But oh my God, Cenk says, like, how could you ask a man to do more? How could you expect a man to put himself out like that in front of his audience? How could you ask more of this man? He's repented. He's probably spent seconds in a confessional. Boy, we should let him back into this party. We should. He's good. He's a good guy. Like, no, Cenk, you fucking moron. Absolutely not. Are we getting caught up in this bullshit again and believe in these hacks just so they can fucking what? Get on the good side of everybody again so they can lead us into the fucking promised land? Like, come on. What are we doing here?
That's as good an apology as I've ever seen, and he didn't need to give one.
Yes, the fuck he did. Every single one of these cocksuckers need to give one. What are you talking about? You need to fucking give one, right? They absolutely need to give a fucking apology for what they've seen, for what they've been responsible for. As far as, again, the canceling of cancer research funding for children. What is it? The 15 million Americans that are going to be eliminated from healthcare. The amount of veterans that have been put out of their place. The amount of veterans that don't get the adequate care to get into a place. I mean, just any one of these things that we could continue to talk about. But yes, he absolutely, and these people absolutely should and do have to fucking apologize to even get their little toe in the door, to even have a fucking chance at people. I'm not going to say accepting them once again, but I don't know, maybe thinking about it. You know what I mean? Just that's something that's going to happen.
Make mistakes. People vote for people they don't like. I've been forced to vote for a whole bunch of people I didn't like, right? And so, but nevertheless, he does this heartfelt apology. So
Heartfelt apology, boy, oh boy, are you a gullible son of a bitch, right? Like the exact audience that Tucker Carlson was out there acting for was pretty much Cenk and Anna, apparently, because they bought that hook, line, and sinker. Holy shit.
On behalf of anyone who cares about war and genocide, I accept, okay? But we're gonna tell you more about the apology, and then we're gonna tell you the people who didn't accept it because they're high and mighty and they don't care about genocide or war, but they do care about their
Is that what you guys see of me? Is that what you guys in the chat, is that how you would describe me? High and mighty and not caring about genocide or war? I'm just curious. The people that have, been around here, that have hung around the show for a while, that have followed my content even before we started doing the live stream. Is that something that's like that? Is that a way that you would describe me? Like, because I don't agree with what Cenk's saying, right? I don't accept Tucker Carlson's apology. I don't think it was a heartfelt, fucking really thought out, a meaningful apology that will be enough to get him back into, again, everyday society. That's just my vision. That's just the way that I feel. But Cenk says here that anybody that doesn't disagree is high and mighty and doesn't care about genocide or war. And I'm just curious if my short time in this field, my body of work, kind of stipulates to what he's saying. I don't think it does, but I'm curious what you guys think in the chat.
precious effing brands.
Okay, well, so Tucker sat down with his brother, as I mentioned earlier. He is a GOP operative by the name of Buckley Carlson. Now, the two did lay bare their concerns regarding Trump's war with Iran, suggesting that Trump's true.
And again, they don't recognize. I don't think she recognizes what she just said. We can jump out of that one. We don't have to go through too much of that. It's pretty much the same bullshit of them, just carrying more water for Tucker Carlson and trying to say, "Oh, it's the best performance I've ever seen in my life. Oh, it's so good. I shed a tear during the apology. Oh, fuck." Like, shut up. Like, shut the fuck up, please. God damn it. I'm fucking so sick of this. I have no more fucking patience left for it. Shut your fucking mouth. You know what I mean? But Anna, she's hold on, let me see one more second. What was she just saying?
Allegiances lie with the.
Oh yeah, she called them GOP operatives. She called them GOP operatives. So she doesn't really recognize that by calling them and accurately pinpointing the fact that they are GOP operatives, that they may have an agenda, right? Like at some point they may recognize that Donald Trump is having a more detrimental impact on the GOP, the GOP's chances heading into midterms, the GOP's chances now extending far into and probably reaching the next general election, considering the amount of anger, the amount of frustration inside the American public right now that they have towards this administration. Like, they're GOP operatives, so maybe they might have a fucking reason to get you to believe that they're sincere, right? That way they can get themselves accurately, established as the opposition so that they could sit there and rake in the dollars afterwards. And then all of a sudden, kind of like a Nick Fuentes tried to do when he was trying to he was trying to smooth out the edges, smooth himself out around the edges, so to speak, to get more mainstream. And then he quickly realized that wasn't going to happen. And he went right back to fuck it, I love Hitler shit that he loves talking about. So he recognized to a point that wasn't going to work. But same thing that, these assholes are now doing here. Never fucking believe these people. Never take them at their fucking, at face value. Never take them at their word whatsoever. I mean, look what they got us into here. Look at how much they lied to us. Look at what they lied about. That's not somebody that all of a sudden after one apology is going to be like a changed man. Okay. So fucking, I don't put it past, and I don't, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not really shocked that, again, Cenk and Anna are sitting there excusing that. Like I said, it was expected. As soon as I saw the Tucker clip start rolling out, I was pretty sure that, a TYT clip was probably going to rapidly follow. But let's see if we can dive into, which one should I go into now? Like I said, I have so much of these things pulled up. Let's do one sane person. Let's not do two insane people back to back. So let's see if we can take a look at this clip here, LBC James O'Brien. So after this, we'll take a look at the Tim Pool. Like I said, we got to kind of spread out the craziness, spread out the debauchery. We can't do two back-to-back insane people. I don't want to send you guys to the hospital here tonight. So This is, again, James O'Brien on with his Washington correspondent, Simon Marks. And the title of this is about power, not faith. And I think they were talking about or mocking or making fun of Donald Trump's Bible reading. Not sure if anybody caught that, but I think Donald Trump did some of like taped Bible reading. I don't know if it was like a marathon or whatever the fuck. Again, wasn't taking up any space in my brain for that, so I don't really know. But again, this is what they're referencing, I do believe. So let's see what a couple sane people have to say about Donald Trump's recent actions. Hit that like button again. My name is Brian. I really do appreciate you. This is the Blunt Politics Podcast. I'm sure if you kind of listen for any amount of time, you'll probably get the idea as to why we call it Blunt Politics. It's also a double entendre. So thank you for hitting that like button.
Of his relationship with Christians who were enraged last week in their thousands, even on his own social media account, by what many of them argued was an act of blasphemy.
We should have a little listen to it, because I think we can fairly say that the next time the audio book contract comes up for renewal, I don't think he's going to be at the front of the queue. But I mean, under your account, we're bringing "Thou shalt not kill" back into
it is so like, and one thing, it's like refreshing to see people, you know, accurately call out how ridiculous this is, accurately call out how insane Donald Trump is, accurately call out how insane the positions and like the stunts that he pulls are. But on the other hand, it's like so fucking embarrassing that it's like you forget to a point that they're laughing at the leader of your country. You know what I mean? Like at some point it like clicks in and you're like, shit. You know what I mean? Like they're laughing at fucking us. They're laughing at our leader. Like I can't even have that moment of glory of having like a funny moment, because you inevitably think back of like, fuck, that's the guy running this country. You know what I mean? But you know, we try.
He's arguably on the hook for 8, 9, or 10 of the 10 commandments being broken in the course of one pitiful life. But anyway, here he is trying to make amends.
And as for you, if you will walk before me as David your father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded you, and shall observe my...
Wait a minute. He butchered that from the beginning. And listen, I'm no
statutes and my judge.
You stop. I know, I love you, James, but you play when I play. But I'm no like, I'm not a priest or anybody, but I think he messed that one up from the get-go. Let's hear that one more time. I think you can actually hear the moment where he recognizes that he fucked that one up already, but he's like, I'm not starting this over. I'm not doing this again. Listen to this.
For me, as David your father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded you.
As your father walked and do. Is that how it was written? I'm gonna need a teleprompter check. Can we get some VAR? Can I look at James's face? Come on, I want to laugh at it so bad. But fuck, that guy's the leader of the free world. God damn it. What happened? We're in a simulation. Fuck.
And shall observe my statutes and my judgments. Then will I establish the throne of my kingdom according to as I have covenanted with
I think
David.
This is AI. I think this is AI. I think that's what this is. Like, I think that was my first thought too, because I do remember the word marathon being associated with this. I may be getting this wrong. If anybody knows correctly in the chat, let me know. But I think this was supposed to be some sort of like marathon Bible reading. My first thought was, ain't no fucking way he's getting them. They're getting him to do that. No chance in hell, right? So, excuse me. My next thought was like, okay, they're gonna just use some AI to make it seem like he did, right? But I'm assuming, because a couple of those clips there, a couple of the wordings, a couple of the way that the lips were moving on there, weren't really adding up to normal. Wasn't really adding up.
Your father, saying, there shall not fail you as a man to be ruler in Israel. But if you turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods and worship them.
Okay. So last week,
okay.
I mean, no one's mentioned today that he's criticised Keir Starmer for appointing Peter Mandelson to ambassador, which I think only the Daily Mail has picked up on in this country, because, of course, this is a man that appointed Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, J.D. Vance, and sundry others, and Robert F. Kennedy. This, in the last week, we've learned that his health secretary once stopped to pick up some roadkill, cut the penis off a dead raccoon and took it home to study at a later date. His war secretary thought he was quoting from the Bible when he was actually quoting from the Quentin Tarantino film Pulp Fiction. The head of the FBI...
You can hear Simon in the background laughing. Oh, it's so bad. It is so bad. It is so bad. It is so bad, people. Oh, it is so bad that this is a list that is accurate. It is an accurate list of things that are now being talked about that you could pinpoint, that you could associate with people now inside of powerful positions inside of our government. Listen to this. Listen to this list. Fuck me.
Some roadkill. Cut the penis off.
Hold on. Let me go back to the beginning. I'll go back to the beginning. Here we go. Listen.
Others and Robert F. Kennedy. This in the last week, we've learned that his health secretary once stopped to pick up some roadkill, cut the penis off a dead raccoon and took it home to study at a later date. His war secretary thought he was quoting from the Bible when he was actually quoting from the Quentin Tarantino film Pulp Fiction. The head of the FBI is now taking legal action against a magazine article that I think cited 20 or 30 sources describing his alleged drunkenness in the office. I've read that they're no longer making influenza vaccines compulsory for members of the military. Off the top of my head, Simon Marks, I apologize. I can't remember how many US troops died as a consequence of the massive influenza outbreak of the First World War, or in that rough era. I think it was 35,000. I mean, we gave up almost on there coming a moment when it would all become unsustainable. And yet, lo and behold, it feels as if that moment has arrived, culminating this week in reports that his own aides, his closest aides, aren't really telling him anything about what is going on outside of his own brain.
Yeah, look, I mean, I think it is tempting, obviously, to find humor in a lot of the things that have happened over the course of the last week. And indeed, some of them are, on their merits, very funny.
A raccoon's penis. A raccoon's penis is always going to be funny, Simon. It doesn't matter what the context is. It can't not be funny, right? No, exactly.
This is not real life. This is not real life. We do not, as a fucking country right now, have James O'Brien on LBC repeatedly saying raccoon's penis on air to associate a story to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Oh my Jesus Christ almighty. How did we get to this point? How did we get to this point? Like, there's no way he had that on his 2026 bingo card. There's no way he had raccoon's penis said multiple times in a single segment on his bingo card. I'm just saying. Another limb I'm going out on, but I think that's a proper limb to be on.
Not be funny. But you know, this is deeply, deeply worrying. Yeah. This is an administration that evidently now has lost the plot, lost its way, lost its direction, cannot articulate still why the United States, in a fact-based way, decided to engage with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in going to war against Iran, putting American lives at risk. Already more than a dozen American service personnel have lost their lives in that particular theater. And this is a president whose own actions on a daily basis demonstrates deep-rooted instability that we now know senior figures within his inner circle are struggling to kind of protect the government from. So every single day, there is an absolute
hell. Like, we are at the point where the aides, it's the fucking aides to this fucking demented bastard that are like the last line of defense, or any line of defense, I guess, between Donald Trump's demented, fucking warped, corrupt mind and like the bad shit that he's trying to perpetrate or could perpetrate on not only the people of the United States, but the world at this point. Like, yeah, that's a good place to be in. Yeah, okay. It's not like we told you so, you Republican fucking dumb bastards. It's not like we said we told you so.
Storm of activity on his Truth Social account, often going on until 2:30 in the morning. An array of absolutely, completely contradictory messages, particularly over Iran. We see the president still unable to understand why Iran has not bent to his will, and demonstrating that he doesn't even understand really the nature of the Iranian regime. I mean, if we take a look at what happened yesterday, Beyond Truth Social, he gave an interview around this time yesterday to CNBC, spent 37 minutes on the telephone. How he had the time to do that, who knows? And this time yesterday morning, at that particular moment, he was itching to unleash the US military on Iran's electrical power plants and their bridges. Take a listen to what he said to CNBC about that issue 24 hours ago.
Well, I expect to be bombing because I think that's a better attitude to go in with, but we're ready to go.
And again, we played this soundbite on the show, so. But there you can see, a clear, concise, almost bewildered, segment there by, LBC, James O'Brien and Simon Marks there at like the lunacy, at like how far this has gotten. Like, it was one point pointing out the craziness, but it's to the point it's gotten now. Like it's no longer got that. I'm not going to say it doesn't have that humor because, again, at some point, if you don't laugh, you're going to fucking cry. But again, to like they've been saying here, like at some point, you got to wake up and smell the roses and recognize just how fucking crazy, out of control, chaotic, unstable, whatever word you want to use in that situation, where, a situation that we're in right now. So, just to kind of hear a lot more clearly said than anything that you'll hear on mainstream media inside of this country. It's refreshing to see it on one hand, and then very embarrassing to have to hear on the other hand. But speaking of embarrassing, we're going to dive into this clip here from Dim Fool, where he again says it has begun. I'm not sure if that's World War III, but again, not something that I think Tim Pool was really anticipating having to make as far as videos and or thumbnails for this second Trump regime, Donald Trump's second shot here at the presidency. He's talking about here how Trump's hours-long rage at the Pentagon, age revealed as Iran war turns hot again after U.S. fires on tanker and drone attacks on American ships. So I can only assume that Tim Pool is talking about the possibility of World War III kicking off again because of the guy that he wanted to see get into office is now in office. But again, he's going to remove himself from all of that culpability, all of that, all of the accountability that he should face for getting Donald Trump into his second term. But here, let's see how he rides the fence on this one, because you know how Dim Fool likes a good fence ride. Let's see what he's saying here.
The United States has fired upon and seized an Iranian cargo ship, indicating the war is still on. It never stopped. And we all have whiplash from Trump going back and forth as to whether or not the strait will be blockaded, open, the war is over. And I think it's fair to say this.
So let me say, hold on. Are you stating that you can't trust what Donald Trump is saying? Is that the point that you're coming out with now? Is that the side that you're now taking? Or is that just another one of your, bold statements that you're going to walk back in about 32 seconds? I'm just curious, because seemingly that sentence tells me that you just can't trust anything that the guy says. He came out and said it was over. It's not over. He came out and said that the strait was open. Not fucking open, right? He came out and said that they agreed to give up their uranium, their enriched uranium. Never fucking happened. He said that the peace talks, the agreements were going ahead. That never happened. He said J.D. Vance left. Never fucking happened. Said J.D. Vance wasn't going. That ended up being true, but he was supposed to go, so I guess not really. You can see how chaotic this whole thing is. It's really a mess. It really is a mess.
Point, Donald Trump is only issuing these statements to affect the oil market, because probably now we've had 5 instances.
I'm sorry, Tim. I think you're getting the nail just a little bit too closely on the head here. Did he just say that Donald Trump is clearly trying to do this only to affect the oil markets? Is that something he's allowed to say? Can I get a check? Hey, ref, is Tim supposed to tell his fans about like the real shit that Donald Trump's doing? No, right? No, he's not allowed to. He's not supposed to. No. See, the ref says no. The ref says he's not really allowed to do that. So I'm curious, but sounds to me like he just said that Donald Trump was manipulating the market. I could be wrong. Tell me what you hear.
Open, the war is over. And I think it's fair to say at this point, Donald Trump is only issuing these statements to affect the oil market.
Okay, market manipulation. Tim, what's going on here? Did you take some fucking truth serum? Did somebody dip into the edibles and replace them with some truth pills, some truth brownies? What's going on here? What's happening?
Because probably now we've had 5 instances of prominent Trump supporting personalities showing the price of oil dropping. Then later when it goes back up, no one says anything. Then Trump says the war's over again. It drops again. And it's just bouncing up and down because no one has any idea what's really going on. But in Russia, they are saying it's World War III. Now, I know we've heard this 1,000,001 times over Ukraine, maybe even Venezuela. Now with Iran, people are questioning once again, is this World War III?
And that's always good. I'm telling you, that's something that Tim, if he said that before Donald Trump got elected, I'm sure wouldn't have changed any votes. I'm sure if he said, you know what, guys, I'm having this prediction, I'm having this premonition, and just about a little over a year into Donald Trump's second term, this is the position that we're going to be in. This is the price of gas. This is the price of a barrel of oil. These are the places that we've bombed. These are the places that we've threatened. These are the allies that we've basically demeaned. Like, do you think that maybe would have swayed some people's votes as far as that's concerned? Talking about World War III being a possibility now. I don't know. I have a feeling that, if you told people the truth and how erratic, chaotic, and, unstable Donald Trump really was and is and has been for his entire life, I'm thinking people may have come out with a different outcome. I'm just saying.
Well, the important thing to understand, my friends, is that with World War II, we didn't actually know we were in World War II for some time. Well, media publications had speculated upon a World War II for years before it started. Some said this could be it when you had the Nazi invasion of Poland. It actually, the name was applied retroactively by the U.S. government. A formal insistence, this was World War II, didn't really come about till the end of the war itself. Though,
the fuck are you talking about, dude? What in the fuck are you talking about? FDR himself was calling it the Second World War, was calling it World War II. If I'm not mistaken, there was hold on, this fucking, God damn it, Tim. Why does he make me fucking do this? I think there was a Time, let me see, a Time magazine article, if I'm not mistaken, was it 1940, 1939, maybe even? Let me see, 1939 Times article. Hey, here you go. Is this it right here? World War Gray Friday. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. Tim, what'd that take me? 13 seconds, for crying out loud. Tim, here you go. Time magazine from September 11th, 1939, as you can see there, 12:01 p.m. September 11th. I'll even make it a little bigger on the screen in case he tries to, I know he's getting old. I know having that hat on all the time squeezes in his eyes a little bit, and he's putting pressure on the pupils, so his eyes are probably going at some point. But here we go. September 11th, 1939, 12:01 p.m. It says right here, what's the first words of this? What does the first word say? World War II began last week at 5:20 a.m. Polish time, Friday, September 1st, when a German bombing plane dropped a projectile on Puck, a fishing village and airbase in the armpit of the Hell Peninsula. At 5:45 a.m., the German training ship, the Schleswig-Holstein, laying off of Danzig, fired what was to believe the first shell, a direct hit on the Polish underground ammunition dump at Westerplatte. It was a gray day with gentle rain. So quite literally, the first fucking statement here by Time magazine, just some 10 days after the beginning of the start of World War II. They were calling it World War II. If I'm not mistaken, let me see here. I know FDR at some point was calling it World War II. Let me see if I can just real quick debunk this one for Tim real quick. FDR, World War II. Throw this on your screen. Was it this one? Let me see. This is going to, yeah. President FDR publicly labeled the conflict Second World War in 1941. Shortly after the Pearl Harbor attack, while he helped popularize the term, described the global conflict, FDR actually preferred calling it the survival war, and in 1942 ran a public survey to find alternatives. So it was called that so much that FDR didn't like it and actually tried to find alternatives. But yes, 1941, at least one instance here we can talk about that FDR was calling it the Second World War. And then obviously, as I just showed you, the Time magazine article here, September 11th, 1939. Again, 10 days after the start of the Second World War, calling it World War II. So I know a little side quest on that one. My apologies. But Tim, you stepped into my territory for a second there. So I'm sorry to bitch slap you around, but that's kind of what I do.
In media, people have been discussing it. It's not like they were going around going, everybody, guess what? Another world war. It's World War II. And everyone just agreed on it. The reality is that when these conflicts break out, as it goes with almost all wars.
Yeah, typically when there's 70 plus countries involved in a single conflict, that's, you don't, it's not the entire world at war, but, that's typically when you could say, hey, that's another world war, right? We had some 70 plus countries engaged at one point or another in the Second World War. So it's like at that point, it's pretty obvious, pretty blatant when you got that many people involved that it's a worldwide conflict. Again, depending in even, giving examples of the different theaters and the different places and different, geographical areas in which the war took place. Doesn't take much to say that, yes, it was a world war, and right off the bat, too.
You don't know if you are in it until it reaches that apex. And as of right now, with Russia's involvement, Iran apparently getting weapons and supplies, military technology from Russia or China, with Venezuela, Cuba, drones flying over, Trump's choking them out. Many people are beginning to speculate that this could be World War III in that.
Trump's choking them out? I'm sorry. That just seemed like something you added in there to make it sound good, because everything else that you said up until that point in this video was negative. Right? It was either you can't trust Donald Trump, he's lied about everything, nothing that he said has happened has actually fucking happened, or again, now that he's president, because he's president, we're probably, possibly, maybe going to see World War III. Like, that's not good shit. So what is this whole, Donald Trump swatting him away? Like, he has to add in that, little, that little kiss to Donald Trump in there every single fucking time, right? But let me see here what else.
A series of global conflicts are erupting and showing no sign of abatement. Despite Donald Trump's insistence, the war is over, it's coming to an end, we've got peace talks. It just never sticks. Now, I've heard from many people, as of you,
it didn't even happen. Never mind, didn't stick. It didn't fucking happen. JD Vance never left his couch. Like, what the fuck here? Can we live in reality? I know you're kind of getting it right a little bit, whatever. But you might as well stay on the track. You can't. There's no sense veering off now to Donald Trump's coattails. You just shit on him for the last fucking 3 minutes of the video.
There's no plan here. That's ridiculous.
That's good. That's awesome. That's what you want to hear. That's definitely what you want to hear about the guy that got this person in power. There's just no plan in place. We're flying by the seat of our pants. Who knows what's coming next? I mean, that's typically what you want to hear from the political commentator that told you to vote for Donald Trump. And now Donald Trump's in there and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I couldn't even tell you what the plan is. Not like we have one. Doesn't seem like it. World War III, though. It's like, I can't. Jesus Christ. But all right, I digress. Let's see what else we can get involved in here. There was that one. I guess we could just do a minute of this, right? This isn't a very long one, and then we'll go into the two Ukraine videos to wrap it up tonight. But here's another one here from Benny Johnson, and I think he's also we should have played this one. I should have played this after the I've Had It podcast. But Benny Johnson taking some shots at Alex Jones, and again, I will always be here to highlight, to spotlight, to elevate the MAGA on MAGA violence, right? The MAGA on MAGA crime that we continue to see. So here's another instance of that. Seemingly Benny Johnson trying not to make it seem like he's making fun of Alex Jones, while also definitely making fun of Alex Jones only because Alex Jones has been outspoken of late against Donald Trump. If Alex Jones was still towing Donald Trump's line, if he was still fully behind Donald Trump, you can be damn sure that Benny Johnson would have never made a video about this subject. But again, just a minute of this of Benny Johnson making fun of Alex Jones while also trying to make it seem like he's just reporting on the news here. But again, look at the post that he brings up, and I think a couple of the memes. Actually, yeah, I think a couple of the memes that I should have brought up that I was talking about earlier, he actually talks about here. So check this out.
That's what they're going to do to Infowars. This is their new logo. The Onion successfully landed the deal. Alex Jones has obviously fallen out of favor with Donald Trump. Alex Jones constantly, according to reports, asked Donald Trump to intervene here. It didn't happen. Alex Jones has since called for President Trump, for instance, to have 25th Amendment used against him.
Again, setting up a little like, hey, Alex Jones isn't really against what Donald Trump is doing. He's only pissed off because Donald Trump didn't step in behind the scenes to stop this whole sale, right? To make sure that Alex Jones didn't lose his shit and his shirt, obviously. considering the clip that we just saw. So again, he's kind of throwing this, like he's trying to muddy the waters a little bit. He's trying to throw a little bit of gasoline on the flames here. Maybe he can get people to be like, well, you can't really trust him because, it's possibly just because of this court case that Donald Trump didn't really step up, didn't step up to bat, didn't step up to help him on. And it really doesn't have anything to do with the policy. So don't be mad at Donald Trump's policies or anything else like that. This is just a guy that, is pissed off, and he's taking it out on Donald Trump because of that. Oh, thank you, DPD. Thank you so much. And thank you anybody else that's been gifting in the chat there. Sorry, I've been kind of wrapped up in the show here, but anybody that does give anything in the chat, super sticker, hits a milestone, super chat, whatever it may be, we do highlight, recognize, spotlight at the end of every single show, just like DPD here. Boston Brian, keep up the good fight, and know this, we all bring something to the table, and intelligence should not be defined by one's education. Emotional and street intelligence are equally important. Don't you ever put yourself down. Oh, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you, DPD. Very much appreciated. All right, let's see what else. And like I said, we'll get into all of the thank yous at the end of the show coming up here. About 10 minutes left. So let's see what else this asshole's got to say. There's one picture. There's one meme. Maybe I'll just fast forward to it. Let me see here if I can catch it. Let's see if I can catch it. So this is what he's talking about, the logo. He's bringing up the logo. You can see just down here. That's behind me. So he's bringing up the rainbow logo and kind of mocking Alex Jones, mocking Infowars as far as that's concerned. And then there was, where's the, maybe it wasn't this one. Oh, yeah, it was this one. Here he is. It's right here. Ready? I'll play this real quick. Here we go. This is where he's talking about Alex Jones.
This is a slap in the face. F them, honestly. Alex Jones has a new job. This is okay. It's kind of funny. Yeah, as stated, Alex Jones had some.
No, he's on. This is a mocking segment. This isn't like, we feel bad and I'm just kind of reporting on the facts here type of shit. Like you can tell when he's laughing at this. When he's laughing at this. Right. I mean, there's a reason that he went through Twitter. Right. There's a reason why he picked out these fucking specific posts that he wanted to play. I mean, I'm sure there was no shortage of posts out there that he could have chosen from speaking about this specific topic. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious as to why he's choosing these ones. Again, because, Alex Jones going against the dear Lord and Savior Donald Trump. So, he's got to get his shots in somewhere. All right, let's dive into with the last few minutes here. I always never leave myself enough time at the end of the show. But all right, maybe we'll go over a couple minutes. I owe that to you guys anyway. So let's dive into this next clip here. Enough of Benny Johnson. Screw that cat. And this is oil rains down in Russia after massive refinery fire. This is an update from Jake Bro, just going into the latest Russian losses and also the latest Ukrainian strikes. We talked about the other day the two apps. Refinery that was hit. We showed it to you on Google Earth, just the size of this refinery. So a little bit more information about how many times the Ukrainians have now struck that and if they've hit it again. Spoiler alert, they did. So let's see if we can learn any more about how the Ukrainians are doing, what they've hit, what's going on in the front lines. I'll speed this up just a touch. That way maybe we can get through just a little bit more here. And I appreciate you guys, and away we go.
Welcome back, Defenders. In our last update video, we mentioned the Tuapse oil refinery had been on fire for 3 days. The good news for Russia is they put the fire out. The bad news for Russia is Ukraine struck it again.
I love it. I love it. The good news for Russia is that they put the fire out. The bad news is Ukraine fucking struck it again. And wait till you see, again, the pictures and the photos and the videos coming out of this strike. I mean, if this doesn't, detail and look, apocalyptic to you guys, I'm not sure what will. And much like we saw inside of Tehran when the oil facility was hit in and around there, the black rain that was falling on the city. We're seeing very much the same thing here, which is, again, a shame, obviously, environmentally. But war is war, unfortunately, and this is just this is the necessity. This is what is needed to happen from the Ukrainians if they're going to try to limit, again, the benefit that Russia is seeing from the uptick in oil prices. Obviously, the relaxing of different sanctions. just in general to affect them and to harm them militarily. These are the targets that you go for. So, it's a double-edged sword for sure. But let's just see here what happened with this second strike on this TUAPS facility and see how badly it's burning now. Again, spoiler alert, really bad.
Tuapse burns again. Drones hit the port city 3 days after the last fire was put out. This is the video from 2 nights ago after Ukraine's drone attack. And this is some apocalyptic end of day stuff. Like, I've never seen an oil refinery fire this bad. And this is just a massive facility.
And again, this is the exact shot that we were showing on the show the other day. When I spotted this on Google Earth, I didn't think that the videos were kind of doing it justice to the amounts, to the size of this, to this structure, to this infrastructure, I would say, and how much of the area it took up, and just how detrimental this would be if, in fact, a substantial fire, I don't know, maybe happens, possibly were to take place at this. So I think we get our answer. So we'll see what effect it has coming up, I'm sure.
The Russian city of Tuapse, and the oil refinery basically takes up 1/3 of the coastline. So here's a comparison showing that video. This is Tuapse during the daytime.
So this is daytime, same view, same vantage point. I mean, you can see I don't know if you can see you can see the road here, right? Same road. You can see the same road here with the curve in the road. You can see the structures on the hillside above and beyond the tanks that you can see here. Same thing up here. You can see the structures up here on the hill. So again, clearly looking at the same view, and that is daytime. That's what it looks like after Ukraine had their way with it. And again, a blind man can see the difference.
This is the same vantage point showing how massive this oil refinery fire is. This is the most recent video I could find as of this morning. And I think the refinery is still on fire 2 days later from the most recent.
2 days later. And again, that's not like a fucking, a little fire in a shed here. Okay. That's not like, hey, we've pretty much gotten the whole thing out. We just have this little bit to go. Like, those are substantial plumes of smoke that would detail a pretty substantial fire still burning in what looks to be, at least from this video, still 3 to 4 to 5 different spots. And again, who knows? That could be, 4 or 5 out of 25 spots that it's still burning. You can't tell from this video, from the entirety of this video, but that's a pretty detrimental fire still raging some days after.
Attack. And this is a volcanic eruption. This is massive. Just look at the size of those smoke clouds. And it's now raining oil in Tuapse. This is a Russian resident of the city showing that little oil droplets are now raining down everywhere on her property.
I mean, quite literally raining oil, right? And again, they did this to themselves. And there's a video coming up here from a woman. I described this video the other day. I didn't have it pulled up. We didn't show it on the show. So this will give me a good opportunity to let you guys see this. Of the woman that's really distraught, crying her eyes out because she only moved to Crimea because of the warm weather and wanted to bring her kids closer to the beach or whatever the fuck. So she just wanted to steal land so she could have a better life. And now it's been ruined because the oil is all over the place. And again, as to what point or what extent they expect me to have empathy, compassion, or sympathy for people like that is fucking beyond me, because I just don't have none. So you can see just everything there covered in that droplets of oil. I'll fast forward here to this woman right
allocate
here.
The necessary funds to properly clean this up. And the Russian residents of Tuapse are distraught. This is supposed to be their coastal, warm paradise town that a lot of Russians want to live in. So here is a Russian mother upset that she can't enjoy her life in Tuapse because of Ukrainian drone attacks.
Я, хотела с ребенком жить на море. Море все заебашено этими мазутами. Все испорчено. Хули тут вообще делать? БПЛА-те ёбаные летают. Уже, блядь, все разносят. Не знаю, что ли. Ты будешь, блядь, жив вообще? Проснешься ты живым или нет? И твой ребенок...
Cry me a river, yeah. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Sorry, that's just what came to mind. That's just what came to mind. First thing that I thought of, cry me, cry me a river. Fucking shut up, bitch. How about that? How about you don't fucking steal other people's land, try to take it as your own, and then complain about the fucking people trying to now get you off of that fucking piece of property, huh? How about you stick it up your ass?
Ребенок, что ты, блядь, делать? Вообще будет тут жить? Только из-за тепла из этого.
This Russian woman should probably talk to Ukrainian mothers in Kharkiv or Kherson and see how they're doing under Russian glide bomb attacks.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said by Jake in that one. He goes on to kind of depict here. He's got this like running chart going of all the different refineries that have been hit, how many times that they've been hit. And you can see the dates underneath. Like, look at this one and how many times this one's been hit. Like you can't even make out the dates anymore. There's so many. The one just to the left here also been struck a bunch of times. This one looks like been hit twice. This one 3 or 4 times. Ton of times here. I mean, all of these different refineries. Here's another one been struck a shitload of times. Here's the 2 Ops refinery. You can see the different dates in which that's been struck as well. So this like running tally going of the different refineries all over Russia and in different parts of the occupied territories that they've been steadily going after. But I'll just play a couple minutes of this video here, and then I'll get you guys out of here. Let's see if we can. I think it was somewhere around 11 minutes we could start this at. And then I'll just give you a couple updates on what's taking place on the front lines, and I'll get you guys out of here, right? Another good show, if I do say so myself. Again, I'm biased. I have a little bit of a bias going on if I'm voting. But, you know, let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of the show, if you enjoy it, if you think we could improve in other places. I'm always up to hear different opinions and what you guys think and thoughts about the show. So just real quick here, this is Battle Plans Exposed by the Sun. Putin's losses surged to 300 plus per square kilometer as Ukraine's tactics bite. And again, this is just a little update on what's been taking place, I believe, in the Pokrovsk area or possibly the Konstantinivka area. Now I'm forgetting. So we'll figure it out together. How about that?
This mean for the war? Who is actually winning the tactical chess match? Let's start here in the heart of Donetsk. Konstantinivka and Druzhkivka, make no mistake, these aren't just towns, these are the logistical beating heart of Ukraine's defense in the east. They form part of the fortress belt. For months, Russian forces have tried to strangle these cities to collapse the Ukrainian line. But over the last 48 hours, the narrative here has flipped. Ukrainian forces haven't just held the line, they've pushed back. Geolocated footage analyzed by the Institute for the Study of War confirms that Ukraine has successfully advanced in this tactical area. We're seeing confirmed.
Again, hold on, because this might give you a better idea, a better look at exactly what he was just talking about. Let me see if I can just zoom in real quick here. We'll go into the area in which he's talking about here. You can see Konstantinivka right here, right, going all the way up to Druzhkivka, Krasnotorka, and Malotoranivka, which is definitely impossible for me to say, but I'm trying my best. And then as you can see here, Kramatorsk, continue going here. You got Sloviansk. So you can see this kind of chain of different towns that are being utilized as this kind of barrier, right? So you got obviously the Russian front lines here, but if I could draw a line, can you draw on this one? Let me see. You could probably do a ruler. You can draw. Yeah, I can draw on this one. So if you do this right here, you can follow kind of from Konstantinivka, Kramatorsk, Sloviansk this way. So if I zoom out a little bit, is it going to let me zoom out a little bit after I get out of this? Well, of course not, now that I can't do that. But let me go back to this, make it a little bit more apparent. So I'll do it like this. So these are the different, like this is that belt that he was talking about, right? So you can see how these different towns from Konstantinivka, from Kramatorsk to Sloviansk, and then, all the way into where they hold up there to Lyman, as you can see, into the green area up top. Like that's what they're utilizing as that, like, that basis for defense, that kind of barrier that he was trying to describe there. So it's a little hard to tell when he's showing the 2D, blank kind of maps that he's talking about where they don't have the extent of the towns and cities lined up, but it's a little bit easier to see here if you look from this aerial view with the towns and the cities. Like you can pretty much follow the houses and the establishments, right? Which obviously makes it a lot easier to defend, makes it a lot more difficult for the enemy forces to get by these places, which is why they're being utilized as that belt. Of course, you can see Kramatorsk, a large area here, and as you continue on this way, you got Sloviansk, and then you continue on to Lyman. So you continue seeing how like the buildup of buildings, the buildup of the cities and the towns and the villages there make it so that they can utilize that as that barrier. Because once you get past there, really it's just a bunch of open fields to a certain extent. And again, I'm not to a large extent typically familiar with the geography, but judging by this, it's just a bunch of fields coming after that. For quite some time, right? What is the next actual major development after you get through that? Pavlorad, which is down here even further south. You know what I mean? You could zoom out here. What's kind of that next? Like you can see the difference. Like look at the distance between Sloviansk, Kramatorsk, Lazova, and then you come up here to Poltava. Really not too much in between, at least at this distance, as far as towns and cities big enough for the map to pick up. I mean, of course, if you zoom in, you got different settlements over here, but, they're pretty widespread, right? Not big towns or settlements by any stretch of the imagination compared to some of the other towns and cities that will be utilized in this. So, you can see how it's very, very important in order to continue utilizing and keep this kind of base, that little solid bar that they have going around here, intact. So let me see here, just kind of what else he has to say about that same little area and that one. I just figured it was a little bit easier for you guys to understand, to visualize that way.
Ukrainian strikes cleaning out Russian positions in eastern Kostanivka and southern Drovobalka. And why is this important? Because defense in depth is about elasticity. Ukraine absorbed the Russian blows, weathering assaults near Pleshchivka and Ivanopilya, and then snapped back like a rubber band, catching Russian forward units off balance. How did they do it? Well, it comes down to massive technological edge that Ukraine has sharpened this winter. General Oleksandr Syrsky, the head of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, recently reported that Ukraine's newly formed unmanned systems forces are now flying over 11,000 combat missions a day. In March 2026 alone, they struck over 150,000 targets. In this specific...
That's crazy. Also, if you guys will remember the other day when we talked about the video of the robotic ground drones in the same exact factory that I had the ability and the pleasure and the honor of touring when I was in Kyiv myself. Same factory, same guy, same everything. I actually saw a further video. I forgot to put it up here. Maybe I'll bring it up for the next show, detailing how that the Ukrainian military has now initiated an order for about 25,000 or so of those robotic ground vehicles or ground drones that I was showing you, the tank tracks that was carrying the I believe it was the United 24 video that was carrying the guy speaking, around the battlefield. And we were showing you how it could extract or exfil somebody from the battlefield as well. But it was pretty cool to see that it's gone to the point where we saw the factory at to now being not only recognized but utilized by the military itself and putting in orders for 25,000 that they're already cranking out, and how that could affect change on the battlefield as well. So to see the progression of from not only the training that we saw, kind of the testing that we saw with drones and kind of weapons platforms attached to them, to now what they're able to do, what they're able to fucking put onto the battlefield, not just in testing, just to put into practice for real, is quite remarkable, is really something. So I know I'm a little bit over time. Let's see, I'll get you just a couple more minutes of this for anybody still sticking around with me. I really do appreciate it, because I'm kind of curious. Again, we've been diving into a lot of the strikes inside of the Russian occupied territories and Russia itself as pertains to the oil refineries and the ports. But again, it's been a couple days since we've checked out the frontline action. So if I could just get through another minute or two of this so we could see what's actually taking place in and around Konstantinivka, Kramatorsk, heading into Bakhmut, that would be great. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Heroyam slava, slava Ukraina. I do appreciate you.
Konstantinivka, Druzhivka pocket, Ukraine's drone superiority is creating a dead zone for Russian armor. Russian mechanized units can't mass for a breakthrough without being spotted and annihilated from the sky. This has allowed Ukrainian infantry to counterattack and reclaim vital ground southwest of the city. But war is a pendulum, and while Ukraine is securing its fortress cities in Donetsk, the Russians are throwing immense weight in the Oleksandrivka direction. The ISW confirms that Russian forces have recently advanced there. Geolocated footage from April the 10th shows Russian forces pushing south of Novohirovka, southeast of Oleksandrivka. And this isn't a sophisticated lightning-fast blitzkrieg. This is the classic Russian meat grinder approach. We know from field intelligence that the Russian 656th Motorized Rifle Regiment is operating heavily in this sector. Their drone operators are attempting to match the Ukrainians, targeting Ukrainian defensive positions just north of Oleksandrivka to soften them up for infantry assaults. What we're seeing here...
What unit did he say? 1 second. Just curious what unit he said.
156th Motorized Rifle Regiment.
The 156th? So that should be visible on this map, right? He said in and around Konstantinivka, if I'm not mistaken. So they should be somewhere on this map, because this tells you that's the 177th, the 114th, the 132nd, the 4th separate motorized, the 103rd, 1307th, Rosgard, 72nd, 200th, 7th Air Assault. So I don't see the exact one that he's talking about. Maybe I'm not in the exact place of the attack, or again, it's just not pictured on this map. Let me see. What's this one? 132nd. Yeah. So I'm trying to line up what he's saying to where we are on the battlefield. That's all. Sorry, my apologies.
Is operating heavily in this sector. Their drone operators are attempting to match the Ukrainians, targeting Ukrainian defensive positions just north of Oleksandrivka to soften them up for infantry assaults. What we're seeing here is the Russians' military willingness to absorb staggering casualties for incremental tactical gains, something we've seen across the whole of the front line for the past 4 years. By deploying the strategic reserves into this axis, the Kremlin is trying to force Ukraine's hand. They want General Syrskyi to panic and pull his victorious troops out of Konstantinivka to plug the gaps down further south in Oleksandrivka. It is a brutal, calculated game of attrition. To understand both of these movements, the Ukrainian success in the north and the Russian grinding advance in the south, we have to look at the weapons defining this spring 2026 campaign. We're officially in the era of true drone war. The Ukrainian arsenal, Ukraine has effectively achieved local drone superiority. That is a new term from local air superiority. But to do that, they have to control the air as well. Their mid-range strike campaigns are destroying Russian logistics before they even reach the front. The Russian response? Russia isn't standing still. They have expanded their own unmanned systems forces to over 101,000 personnel. On April the 12th alone, the Ukrainian General Staff reported that Russia launched nearly 750 Lancet and Molniya fixed-wing strikes. What the Institute for the Study...
And again, this is, and I'll let you guys go here, but this is as the reporting that we've been talking about, that like some 95 to 96% of, what was it, the kills in the month of March came as a result of Ukrainian drone strikes, as opposed to artillery, as opposed to infantry. It gives you an idea of just how many drones are being utilized. And again, that number is only growing. That number is only going to continue to grow. Not only that, but the types of drones, the type of robotic ground drones, air drones being utilized is going to continue to grow. The more meat that the Russians throw into this meat grinder, the more meat's going to get grinded up. You know what I mean? So that's just the brutality of the war that we're now facing, the brutality of the war that we're now looking at. But that's what it is. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the reality. And again, as we get into the summer and the spring and summer offensives, that we're only going to see an uptick of not only the usage of the drones, but also the effectiveness of those drones. So what do you say I get over to the old Venmo side of things? We'll start thanking people for everything that they do, these kind contributions. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Geneva. What an absolutely beautiful saint you are. Thank you so much, Geneva H. I appreciate you. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate you. Awesome. Just a very substantial contribution. Thank you so much, Geneva. Thank you so much to Yakov. Very, very much for everything that you do for the channel as well. Not only as as a policeman in there, as a mod, but also your generosity, your contributions, your support in the Zooms and sharing all the stuff out. The whole 9 yards, brother. I appreciate it all, and I hope you recognize that. Roxanne, thank you so much for everything that you do. Ditto to everything that I just said. Hugs to you and Lobster. Thank you, and to Pop. Thank you, and sending best of vibes to you both. Very much appreciate you, Roxanne. Thank you for everything that you do for the channel. And then Just going down the list for the last couple days: Kathy, Damon, Mike Z. Thank you so much to Jenny Faye. Thank you so much to Roger, Karen, Barbara, Tom and Victoria. Let's see who else we got. Nance. Thank you so much to MR. Thank you so much again, Geneva. Thank you to Allison, V. Sawyer, Teague, Tom, the altar boy, Rochelle. You guys have been fantastic, and like I always say, continue to be. Thank you so much to Heidi, Allison, in case I missed you guys in there as well. And then there's also people over here on the old Venmo side of things. See if we can say thank you to everybody. Starting off first here with Masha. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're well. Thank you for being here, and obviously thank you for that one gifted membership. Very, very generous of you. Please make sure we're reaching out to Masha, Masha in the chat, and make sure we're giving that cat a nice little belly rub for me. All right, Masha, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Dame Dog. Time flies when you're having fun, bastard. Time flies when you're having fun, my friend. I don't know why bastard just came out of my mouth. I'm not sure. I think I just had like a mini stroke on that one. Oh, it's been a long day. No, Dame Dog, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for your kind contributions. Thank you so much for your loyalty, your generosity, showing up to all the Zooms and stuff, purchasing the merch, the whole 9 yards. It means the world to me. It really does. So thank you so much for everything you continue to do. Hope you have a great night, my friend. Jeff Miller, thank you so much for the 5. Maybe Keystone Cops. I think, hold on. What was the picture? Now I'm going to, let me see here. Cash Patel, USA Hockey. Let me see. What were they drinking? Images. Let me see the images. No, because they were drinking. There was a Mexican beer, right? Weren't they drinking Modelo or something? Wasn't it a Modelo? I can see it in his hand here. It's tough to make out. I thought it was a Modelo or yeah, it's tough to make out what it is in his hand. Do you guys know in the chat? Let me know in the chat. What kind of beer was it that he was drinking in the locker room with the men's team? It was Corona or a Modelo, right, Joe? Joel, my apologies. That's what I thought, because the irony of like where they were only having the Mexican beer was being talked about. So I knew it was one of the two. No. It's about the Keystone Cops, Bri. All right. You guys win. Oh, I'm overridden. Mods get the last say. So, all right, I'm out of here. I'm wrong. My apologies. I'll remove myself from the conversation. No, but I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you, SFL, for all that you do as well. Hugs for all. Right back at you, SFL. Thank you so much for your kind contribution. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for spending a little time here with me. Thank you so much to Jeff again. Tim Pool's History Channel, brought to you by Crack. Right? I mean, Jesus Christ. Did he get anything right in that? I mean, I know he did, but he didn't want to. You know what I mean? Like, he was accurately talking about market manipulation by Donald Trump. He couldn't listen to anything that he was saying, but also not really recognizing what he's like. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. But Jeff, very much appreciate you. Thank you so much to DPD for your kind words. I really, really appreciate that. And obviously the kind contribution as well. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for spending some time here with me. Thank you for the generosity as well. That goes for Mr. Webb. Thank you so much, brother. You done good, kiddo. Much appreciated, Wes. We appreciate you. Thank you for keeping us on our toes here. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for everything that you do for the channel. Very much appreciated. Hope you are having a wonderful night as well. Thank you to James Goldie2933 for the $2 contribution. Love the Legos, Battlefield updates, Boston Brian Chuckles. I appreciate that, James. Appreciate you, brother. Can I call you JG? JG, what's your nickname? I like nicknames. I'm a nickname guy, so forgive me if I try to come up with these nicknames on the fly. If you guys don't like them, just let me know. But I do appreciate you. Thank you so much again, Marsha, for everything that you do. Sorry, no typing tonight. Love to Boston Brian, mods, and the chat. I shall relay that message. I think I'm doing that right now, as a matter of fact. So thank you, Marsha. Thank you so much to JD as well for the $7 contribution, my friend. Big shout out to you. Slava Ukraini, Heroyam Slava, right back to you. Thank you for everybody, again, supporting with me. And thank you to Mrs. Penguin, 8978, for being a member for 5 months. I really do appreciate that. Very, very much. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you so much for the let's fucking goes and the hearts. Again, I don't know why StreamYard doesn't show me that stuff. I just see like the like the text representation of the emojis that you guys put in there, which is kind of bunk, kind of Buddha, if you ask me. But what are you gonna do? You can't win them all. You know what I mean? So, all right, I appreciate you guys. I'll let you guys out of here for the night. Very much appreciate the sparklers and everybody else coming from all of the other destinations that you're watching from to come, watch here for a little bit. It really does mean a lot. Helps a lot with the watch hours. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you don't know if you are, if you question it, if you think you are, go head over there and look. Make sure you've actually clicked that subscribe button, because a lot of people do watch, but they aren't subscribed. It's free to do so. It doesn't cost you a goddamn red cent. We don't hide anything behind a paywall. All of the stuff that we do here is with us, by us, and for us. No outside sponsors, no outside backers, no fucking ad revenue piling in for some bullshit products that we sell that has absolutely nothing to do with my daily life. None of that bullshit. No charging for the Substack. Nothing behind a paywall. Nothing. So, it's all with your generosity, your help, and your support of the show that we continue to be able to do this independently without anybody telling us what to say and what not to say. And that's how we intend to keep it. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much to the mods. Shout out to you for keeping that chat a safe place. Thank you for helping me along the way and getting me to this position. Us to this position, I should say. And thank you to the best chat on the fucking face of the planet, which is right here at the Blunt Politics Podcast, right here with the Bryantologist and all the lobsters. You guys know, huh? You guys know, like we always do about this time, right? We always do about this time. Sorry. All right, I'll let you guys go. I'll see you later. What's today? Today is Wednesday, so that means I'll see you tomorrow for the Tuesday. Not for the Tuesday show, because that's definitely wouldn't be tomorrow. Anyway, you guys know what I'm saying. I'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, for the 2 p.m. show. That's 2 p.m. here on the East Coast. That's going to be 11 a.m. on the West Coast, and somewhere in between, depending on where you live. So figure it out. Hit that notification bell. If you're not good at maths, if you don't know the time schedule, just hit that notification bell. It should tell you when I go live. And make sure you like all of the shorts and videos that I put out. Follow me on all the social media platforms. I'm out there, Boston Brian, Blunt Politics, on pretty much all of them. Type in either or. It should get you right to my channel. And thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate it. Again, my name is Brian. This is Blunt Politics. And I shall see all of you fabulous individuals tomorrow for another episode of Blunt Politics. I'm out of here, and I appreciate you all. Thank you, guys.
Вітаю, Бостон Брайан. Мій позивний танцор. Я представник 72-ї бригади. Дякую тобі і твоїм підписникам за цей донат, за цю чудову машину, яка буде нас возити усіх на позиції, захищати Україну і наближати перемогу. Разом усі до перемоги. Дякую.
Kidney has a very special place in the heart. It's an incredible thing. We're inviting Americans from all across the country to come. God bless the United States. To officially name the undisputed, when did this come out? It's a new form of vicious violation to our country. Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen. Here's a thought. Grow a sack, fill it with some balls. The undisputed champion of beautiful, clean coal. Water coming here is dead. Yesterday's a hard word for me.
My superpower is being honest. I will eat my neighbors. I'm just an average guy who read public documents where the elite said they were going to enslave us and destroy America. And I'm not going to be like
Вітаю,
yuppie scum and deny the threat to
Мій
my
позивний
country.
консорт.
I'm
Я
going
представник 72-ї бригади. Дякую тобі і твоїм підписникам за цей донат, за цю чудову машину, яка буде нас возити усіх на позиції, захищати Україну і наближати перемогу. Разом усі до перемоги. Дякую.
cacophony, a crescendo, a finale, a coup de grace.
Yes, of course, hence the name. Movement, it moves a certain distance, then it stops, you see. A revolution gets its name by always coming back around in your face. You tried to kill me, you son of a bitch. So welcome to the revolution.
Man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
What uranium is, right? This thing called nuclear weapons and other things, like lots of things are done with uranium, including some bad things.